The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
This is Scorpio Sky, and you are listening to the Keepin It Strong Style podcast, and it is the best.
Yo, this is Rich Latta from One Nation Radio. This is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network. We present to you the Ace of Podcasts, Keepin It Strong Style. Let's go. It's the Ace of Podcasts, Keepin It Strong Style. Covering New Japan, they ready to hold it down. Jeremy, Donovan, and the young boy Josh. Come and hit a job out and bury all the frauds. From the Tokyo Dome over to the G1. Social Suplex is the network where we can get it done. I'ma chill and let them have it, cause this is just an intro. Keeping the strong style, 6 stars from the get-go, boy. Yeah, from Tampa Bay to the Tokyo Dome, this is Keeping It Strong Style with your hosts, Jeremy Donovan and the young boy Joshua Smith. And thank you for listening.
Welcome to Keeping It Strong Style, the ace of podcasts on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Jeremy Donovan here alongside the young boy Josh Smith. On today's show, we'll be reviewing Dominion, as well as covering all the latest news in the world of New Japan Pro Wrestling. You can support our show and the network by subscribing on the podcasting app of your choice and leaving a rating and review. You can also get all the podcasts and columns at socialsuplex.com. Go to socialsuplex.com/subscribe to sign up to get the podcast and columns delivered directly to your email inbox.
Where do they leave us money?
Still working on that.
All you gotta do is go to my Cash App. My profile name is I don't have one.
Oh man. Well, this is a very highly anticipated episode of Keeping It Strong Style. Everybody wants to hear our thoughts and review on the
weird idea,
dude. It's really weird. Like people like tweeting like out of the blue, like, when is your Dominion episode dropping? Like, I can't wait for you guys to review Dominion. Like,
it's like when you're with a girl for the first time, the anticipation's so high, you hope you live up to expectations. You just don't know.
Oh man,
all this pressure's not making it any easier now.
I don't even know how to transition from that.
Oh man, you know what? Like, in all honesty, this is like we're reviewing one of the greatest shows that I've ever seen, and I do feel like almost inadequate like to cover this. I'm like, wow, I hope this show's good, like, because what we're covering is phenomenal,
incredible, amazing. Like, there's not enough adjectives in the world to describe just how great this Dominion show was.
Superlative. I'm gonna find some other big words to use.
Yeah, and we watched Dominion Saturday afternoon with our Social Suplex colleague Rich Latta, and man, what an experience.
So there's been this thing, I'll just start off with this, okay? We're going to cover the show, but every year, I know this isn't a WWE show, but every year I've been hanging out with Rich and James since, I don't know, 2012, basically. So how many WrestleManias are that's 6?
Yeah.
Every year we watch a WrestleMania, and like the WrestleMania starts off really good, and then like the next match really good, and the next match really good, and we're always like, oh man, we're on pace right now to see one of the greatest shows of all time. And we've done it. Like, it doesn't, without fail, we do it every single time. Like, we are on pace. And then something happens and it's like, that show sucked. And I think we've had a few moments watching New Japan together where we've legit been like, man, that was... I mean, like, I know, like, we debate all the time which Wrestle Kingdom, you know, is better than what other Wrestle Kingdom. Right. We do it all the time. But, I mean, this was... From the pacing, the timing, the build... I don't know, man. I think this is the best wrestling show I've ever seen live. I mean, well, not live, but like watching, virtually live. This is the best wrestling show I've ever seen, and maybe the best of all time.
I have to agree with you, man. I mean, from bottom to top, this card was so well booked. I mean, you started from the junior tag title match, and every match from there just got better and better and better and better, and just kept building to this final crescendo of the heavyweight title main event.
Yeah, everything had significance, everything had meaning, everything was entertaining. Even when there was some booking decisions that I might not have necessarily agreed with. I mean, who agrees with every booking decision that a booker makes? But they were all logical. They all made sense. They were compelling. And then there was surprises and shocks and tons of title changes.
It was an amazing roller coaster ride.
Yeah, and it just kept going and going and going. And by the time we got to like the 6-man tag, I was like, I looked at Rich, I was like, on pace. We've literally been on pace to watch the greatest wrestling show of all time. And unless like one of these 3 main events like ruins it, which we knew that
they weren't.
I was like, it's already done. It's already a done deal. And then we saw what many people are calling the greatest wrestling match of all time, atop one of the greatest wrestling cards of all time. Like, it is just literally incredible.
Yeah, I mean, for the longest time, for me, my favorite match has been Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart, the Iron Man match.
Boo!
But, dude, this Okada Omega match, I mean, this is my new favorite match of all time.
Just now?
I mean,
it took that many, what 22 years for something to knock that out of its spot?
You know, because for me, I try not to compare like matches from like time periods, and like obviously what happened with Shawn and Bret, that was a completely different time period to the stuff that's been happening, you know, the last 10 years, and I've never really stopped to compare. But, you know, I'm a big Shawn Michaels mark. Shawn Michaels has always been my favorite wrestler of all time since I was 4 years old, since I've been watching wrestling. But, you know, I've never stopped to really compare to see if I have another favorite match. But this Okada Omega match just, you know, blew me away.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really, 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 really incredible. And this show is just incredible. That's pretty much all you guys need to know. I'm sure you've already seen the show, so that's it.
That's it. Thank you for listening to the keynote.
No, but for real, we got done watching this show, and we like sat in like awe for a good while. Which we didn't even know what to do. We don't ever do that, like for real. And I was like, well, what do we do now? And like Rich was like, it's over. We've seen it. It doesn't get any better than this.
Yeah, let's just stop watching wrestling.
We need to stop now. It's already accomplished. Everything we always wanted to see, it's already been seen. That's it. But in all honesty, that's how I felt for like a good portion of the day. I was like, man, what are we doing? How can anyone ever top this? And then went to Tampa Bay Pro the next day. It was great. But yeah, this was just, man. Let's start it off, man.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, before the matches started, we had an opening promo video.
Oh my God! Another reason why this is one of the greatest shows of all time,
dude. Harold Mai.
Oh yeah, he doesn't. We've been calling him Mage for a long time. I'm sure we're not the only one. So listeners, we apologize. We didn't know how to pronounce his name. His name is
Harold Mai.
Harold Mai. Is it May?
May or Mai? I've been hearing both.
Oh, we need to go back and watch it again.
I think it's Mai.
Mai.
We're going with Mai for this episode. Yeah, opening video with Harold Mai answering the phone call.
That cinematography was so great.
Dude, it felt like an opening cutscene of like a video game or something.
It reminded me of like some of like I know like you didn't used to watch Pride, but like Pride used to do stuff like this, and it was like stuff that's like these opening like montages where you're like, this is so cool, but why are they doing this?
Right.
Only in Japan would this ever happen.
Well, at first I didn't even understand what was happening.
I didn't either.
And until you saw like the phone call come in.
Once they started really doing like building it up and all that, and we realized what it was, I like looked over to you guys and I was like, they just did more favors for Harold Mai than like any other wrestler in the company.
They put Harold Mai over huge.
They put him over so big. Like I felt like they brought in like a WWE superstar, like a Brock Lesnar, or like a Goldberg or something. He's here. That's Harold Mai. That's what it felt like, dude. I was like, who is this?
Yeah.
And I like Bone Soldier just got an infographic for like a month, you know?
Yeah, so
he's coming.
Yeah.
And then Harold Mai's getting like a freaking like 5-star cinema like Rotten Tomatoes would have given that like 99%. Like that was great.
So yeah, they showed that video and then they cut to the arena and this man, Harold Mai, comes running down the ramp like he's Ultimate Warrior.
Oh my god, we were like, what a mark. We're like, Harold's a mark. And like we watched him running out. I don't mean to like shame anybody for their enthusiasm and stuff, but it's just so funny.
It was just hilarious.
Like what president of what company have you ever seen like running the aisle to make it to the ring? Like, you know, that was a lifelong dream for him.
Dude, he's been like, he says he loves wrestling. He's been watching wrestling for such a long time.
I just thought he was gonna get in and shake the ropes and like take a bump.
Oh my god.
I literally thought like he was gonna like do like the Ric Flair old man flop, like just a couple steps forward, fall over,
like, take his jacket off, elbow drop it, knee drop it.
Yeah, like I was like, dude, this guy is amped up. Like, okay,
yeah.
I thought they were gonna cut a promo and like do an angle, or you know, he was gonna talk for 20 minutes to start the show off, like other companies that I know about.
Well, he did talk for a little bit. Yeah, spoke in Japanese first and then in English.
How dare he? Talking about international expansion and he speaks in their native language. How dare he?
So pretty much just kind of introducing himself to the fans and kind of just, explaining a little bit about his vision of New Japan and kind of what he's already been saying, and he wants to make this a global company. And pretty much this Harold Mai promo pretty much set the tone of the night of what we would see as far as this whole global expansion and just a new beginning.
Yeah, what I liked most about it and the thing that stuck out the most to me and really felt beneficial was him saying what his name was. Because I didn't know what it was before, and I was like, we gotta figure this crap out.
We're still possibly saying it wrong.
I liked when he was like, some people call me President Harold, but I prefer to be called President Mai. And then he goes, but either one works. Like, he like started to be tough, and then he took it back. He's like, but you can do either, I guess. It doesn't matter that much. But yeah, no, it was cool. I don't know. I still don't know what to really... You're right. Thematically, it fit the night, and it was cool. I liked that... who's the other guy that came out? Sakaguchi, is that his name? I always forget.
Yeah, I think so.
He's one of the chairmen of Bushi Road. He came out and he brought out the tracksuit. And I was like, where I caught one of those tracksuits? Trying to look like a young boy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Harold Mai has the tracksuit on, and thematically it was cool. Basically just like it felt fresh, like a fresh changing of the guard. I do question why we had to see like the whole movie cinema thing. Like, I don't know. I just feel like if you're gonna do that, do it for a wrestler. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that seemed like a lot of money. Like, that was an excessive way to bring out your president. I know Jack Tunney would have never done that. I hold every president and CEO of companies, like, I hold them up to Jack Tunney.
Oh, my gosh.
Criticize WWF all you want, but Jack Tunney was a darn good commissioner slash president, whatever he was. Guy was great. It's the best. But so then they said, all right, after he made his announcements, the show will be beginning. We fast forward it. Yeah. Thank God.
Yeah, because they had that like dead space in there. But yeah, so they opened up the show with the IWGP Junior Tag Title match. The champions, Desperado and Kanemaru, taking on Roppongi 3K, Sho, and Yo. Of course, they were accompanied by our good friend Rocky Romero.
I don't know why that's still so funny to me. This is dumb.
And this was a good opening match.
I thought so.
Desperado and Kanemaru end up retaining at 9 minutes and 50 seconds with a little dirty Suzuki gun action as usual. But yeah, I mean, this was a fun, good opening match. Like I said, it was just shy of 10 minutes. It was just like a nice little quick opener to kind of get you excited. All four of these guys had pretty good matches in the Best of the Super Junior tournament.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, this kind of goes back for a while. What Road 2 show was it when we first saw these guys square off? It's been a while.
It was after Wrestle Kingdom, right?
It's after New Beginning.
Yeah.
Because remember, they beat the Young Bucks to win the belts back, right?
Right, yes.
And when was that? That was New Beginning?
Yeah.
So, Road to the anniversary or Road to what came after that?
I'm blanking right now, but it was like in the first quarter.
Yeah,
of the
so
year.
basically they did a Kanemaru and Desperado had pointed to the belts, basically said we want the titles. They ended up having a non-title match on a Road 2 show where they cheated and exploited either Sho or Yo's injury. I don't remember who it was. That was
I believe it was Sho.
Probably Sho.
Yeah.
And ended up utilizing, what did they, like a Boston Crab or something like that. I'm kind of fuzzy on the details, but basically they set up a match for them later on. And then instead of getting that match, we ended up with a triple threat tag team title match with them and
Hiromu and Bushi.
The LIJ juniors, which we were kind of critical of. We're talking, what was that, March?
Yeah, some around that time.
So we're talking about 3 to 4 months that we've literally been building to just the one-on-one match, return match between these guys. Because since that time, when Desperado and Kanemaru won the belts, they won it in a three-way tag. Then they defended it again in a three-way tag. Then they defended against LIJ. And then, Sho and Yo were stuck for a whole tour in a six-man tag.
Tezuka and Taka and all these Suzuki Goon guys.
Yeah, and then Best of Super Juniors came. So, I mean, we've been waiting a long time for this. So, we finally got here. And I will say this. I thought that this was I thought it was good. I thought it was the best match between these two teams that we've seen so far. But I don't think, A, it was the best match that these two teams have in them, and B, I was very surprised by the decision not to put the titles back on Roppongi 3K.
I was surprised too. I think on last week's episode, both of us were pretty confident that they were going to put the belts back on Roppongi 3K.
Yeah.
Sho and Yo had great moments in the tournament. Thought it'd be a great chance to get the belts back on them and kind of get them back in that ace of the junior tag division kind of role, but that was not the case here. They're keeping the belts on Kanemaru and Desperado and kind of building those guys to be the top champions in this division.
Yeah, I mean, it is one of those things where when titles change in New Japan, you usually can see why, and for you know what I mean? Like, it's not too often that there's a title change and it's like, insignificant, or you don't really see the point. But with this, I kind of just don't really see the point, to be honest with you. Maybe I'm short-sighted. Like, I'm not necessarily a booker, so I'm not openly criticizing. I'm just saying I don't understand with the progression of this past year why it's benefiting Suzuki going to continue to hold these straps.
Right, and you think about, like, what's next? Like, so they beat Roppongi 3K, like, there are no really other teams on deck. Like, Hiromu's now the junior champion. Like, they're probably not going to do him and Bushi again. And I know on promo that Desperado was mentioning something about the Motor City Machine Guns.
That would be cool.
So that's a possibility.
Well, no, it's not.
Why?
We'll get to it, but someone's injured.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's probably not going to happen.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know what other, I mean, I can't even think of other junior teams and other indies really that are hot that New Japan could possibly bring in.
Bring in the Super Smash Brothers.
Well, one of them is not a junior.
We'll just say he's a junior. They called Taichi a junior for years.
Yeah. What's that player?
Player Uno?
Player Evil Uno.
Evil Uno, yeah. He could be a junior. He's kind of small. Nah, he's too big. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just that's the one thing. That's the only thing I question about it is I would like to see the junior tag division to be shown more prominently, and Desperado and Kanemaru winning it would be great if it is a situation like you've got a heel tag team, you've got these babyface champions that are chasing, but they beat the two face teams, and who's left?
Right.
And I just don't know where it's going. We got several shows coming up.
Yeah, at least if Roppongi 3K had won here, I mean, you get a rematch there.
They might get a rematch, and if they do, it's like, well, why didn't you just switch the belts? But I mean, for whatever reason, they decided. One other criticism I had with this match: didn't they do like 4 ref bumps in this match? Or like slash distractions?
Yeah, I don't know if they're all bumps, but there are definitely distractions, and
they did a lot of it, which is fine. And Show ended up getting hit with the whiskey bottle and then beat, but you know, I was just surprised, to be honest with you.
Yeah, same here. Again, good opener, and we'll see what's down the road for both of these teams.
I like that Roppongi 3K. Now that they're part of a team together, they were never apart, but after they've gone on their singles runs, their gear reflects their singles gear.
Yeah,
kind of like the personas that they took on in the tournament. They've kind of meshed that back in with their tag personas.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like a nod and a wink to that, which is, I think it's kind of cool because they're kind of maintaining their identities and growing as characters, but still being Roppongi 3K. I know that they've said in the past that like Rocky Romero's not their coach anymore. He's like their like equal.
Yeah,
but why does he come out to ring with them if he's not gonna do anything? Like, where was he during this match?
Usually in the previous matches, Rocky's like front and center and like coaching.
And then he got back on commentary at the end and was like, and said like, talk junk about Suzuki, and I was like, where were you?
Like, he didn't get powerbombed on the ramp again. Like,
he wasn't at ringside, but then he just randomly showed up. So I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah.
If he's not going to be part of the act, like, why is he part of the act?
Yeah.
Like, did he get a payday for that?
I guess we'll ask him when we see him.
When we talk to him, be like, yo, you get paid for that? Finesser of the year. Finesser of the year.
Oh, man.
Dude's not even having to, like, do anything. He just comes out,
shoots his little...
Shoots the cloud or whatever, and makes paper, you know?
All right, so moving on to the next match, we had the flamboyant Juice Robinson and David Finlay taking on Switchblade, Jay White, and Yoshihashi. Another good tag match. This match was all about setting up Juice against Jay White for the Cow Palace. Juice Robinson hit the Pulp Friction on Jay White. They got the win, 7 minutes and 35 seconds. What do you think about this one?
It was okay. It was not bad at all. I mean, it did its job. The whole idea here is building up Yoshihashi and Dave Finlay for the feud that they're about to have with one another, which is going to be it's just going to draw. It's just white hot. Super heat, put all the asses in the seats.
That's going to be a big draw, brother.
No, it did its job. The whole point was to build up Juice and Jay, which, you know, we'll get to later, which we've been kind of hypothesizing. We kind of thought maybe we'd see a title defense on this card. There was criticism about, you know, the lack of a U.S. title defense. What were your thoughts about that?
Well, I kind of understand them wanting to save the U.S. title match for G1 Special, but at the same time, pretty much all the singles titles were defended at Dominion. So it does kind of look like the U.S. title is kind of a step below all those singles titles. I mean, they could have done 2 defenses. He could have defended here in Cow Palace.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I think the problem is they were building towards something, and it was like, if you give it away here, then you have nothing left for the other card.
Right.
Which isn't necessarily, I'm not criticizing New Japan necessarily, but I don't know. I would say, like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like, you know, that this guy has had a title reign that's been so inconsequential to a certain degree that, like, you can't just throw someone in there with him, you know, a few weeks later and have it mean anything.
Right. I mean,
without a build.
They have been building this juice thing for a while now.
Right. So, I mean, it probably was the right call if you're going to save that for the other show. And if, like, I think we both think Juice is getting his title win, it makes sense to do it, you know, at the G1 Special in USA show. But with that being said, I don't know. It's not necessarily a great look that you got Jay White not defending his belt. You know, we've heard it time and time again. Like, look at where the belt was a year ago. Look at where it is now.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, it is hard to compare the guy and be like, oh, be Kenny Omega. You can't really be Kenny Omega, obviously.
Right.
But at the same time, it hasn't been great.
Yeah, it's been lackluster.
Especially since, like, we've seen less of the promos and less of the teases and what we thought.
There's
like,
just been a less emphasis on his character altogether, really. He just kind of turned into, like, another chaos guy.
Except for, like, the negative aspects of his character are highlighted. You know what I mean? Like, they're not accentuating necessarily the positives when it comes to Jay White right now, which is unfortunate. But that's not to say they haven't given the guy opportunities. Yeah. They've given him a lot of opportunities. So it's not like it's all... We've said this from the beginning. In New Japan, it's sink or swim. And I think...
I think he's sinking.
Yeah, probably to some degree. I don't think it's like a total loss or anything like that. And I think they still have plans for the guy, but I don't think that this was memorable. Like, the only Jay White match from this past year I did like his first match with Dave Finlay, but only in a novel way.
Right.
Not in a, like, this is a great, you know. The only match of his this past year that I saw that I thought was very good was the Omega match.
Yeah.
And that had a lot of problems for me still. It was like a flawed match even for Kenny.
Yeah, so Jay White's got some work to do, definitely. So we'll talk more about that U.S. title match in the news. So next up we had
We didn't even go over the finish.
Yeah, I said Juice pinned Jay White with Pulp Friction.
Oh, gotcha.
7 minutes, 35 seconds in.
So Juice is getting a title shot. Dave Finlay gets a win in Osaka-jo Hall. And Jay White, you know... They set up the title defense, and Yoshihashi takes a loss, just like he should. It's all good from here. I mean, when we talk about being on track for a great show, it starts with Yoshihashi losing. Okay?
Oh, man. So, next up, we had the Rev Pro British Tag Champions Minoru Suzuki and Zack Sabre Jr. taking on Toru Yano and Tomohiro Ishii. And this was another good match. The best part of this match were
I was very excited for this match.
The interactions between Ishii and Suzuki. And, man, they were just killing each other with strikes and slaps and forearms.
Dude, we've been clamoring for a Suzuki and Ishii match since December.
Yeah.
Since, like, Wrestle Kingdom, when we were like, why is it Goto? Why can't it be Ishii?
Yeah.
Well, we're finally getting it, and it starts here. And, yeah, we actually saw these, was it these exact two teams that wrestled during the Strong Style Evolved event in Long Beach, I believe?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, they ran it back, and I like this match better than that one, and that one was really good.
Yeah, and again, another quick match, 8 minutes and 50 seconds, still very good, and it was a very innovative finish with
I love the finish.
Toru Yano goes for a low blow on Sabre. Sabre blocks it and gets him in a submission hole. Suzuki.
That's the gentleman Jim Breaks armbar.
Yeah. And Suzuki cut off Ishii, and Zack taps out Yano.
Yeah, I marked out for that Jim Breaks armbar. Like, I love that. And when he caught him, I didn't see it. The camera work, there was a lot of times during the show, did you notice where the cameras were missing stuff?
Yeah.
Which kind of bothered me, but in this case, they didn't miss anything. They got it perfectly. Like you saw him, it looked like he got hit with the low blow, and I just figured,
Yano's going to win.
Blow,
yeah.
1, 2, 3, roll up, because Yano could beat anybody with that move. Not so. He caught it, and then the camera spins around, and next thing you know, like, you're like, oh, crap, he caught this thing.
Saber got him and stretched him.
He caught it like Mr. Miyagi with some chopsticks and a fly flying around the room. It was amazing. Man, that guy's got freaking reflexes of iron. I don't know.
Yeah. And then post-match, Suzuki and Ishii continued to brawl all throughout the arena and to the back. Mm-hmm. And we learned, and we'll talk about this in the news later, but this was setting up a British title match at the Strong Styled UK show between Ishii and Suzuki.
Yeah, this match just really delivered for me on a lot of levels. You know, there's not a lot on the show that you would call comedy. So with Toru Yano, you get the comedy, you get the hard hitting action between Ishii and Minoru Suzuki, which is great, and then the technical stuff with Zack, and then just the mix of all these different styles. Just I really like this. I thought it was good.
It was a fun match.
Did we cover the brawl afterwards?
Yeah, I said that they were brawling around the arena.
That brawl was awesome.
I know. I was waiting for like random points of the show for them to just like cut to the back and they're still brawling. Yeah,
yeah, that'd be sick.
Can't get control of these guys.
So then that brings us to the next match, which was the Never Openweight title match with Hiroki Goto, the champion, defending against our Lord and Savior, Taichi.
Not my Lord and Savior.
And what'd you call him, medium Mike Elgin?
Yeah.
I can't really call him Big Mike Elgin anymore.
Not so big Mike Elgin?
I don't know. Shrunk Elgin?
Yeah.
Like ripped Elgin? Like, because he was in fantastic shape. Like, this guy, he's been doing keto or something.
Yeah, I think he's on a lot of...
Oh, crap. That is what he's doing, isn't it?
Yeah. A lot of wrestlers...
I forgot that you told me that that's what it was. I was making a joke. I'm still not even really sure what keto is. It's a buzzword, so I think it's funny to say. It's a diet?
It's a diet. A lot of wrestlers have been doing it lately and getting a lot of great results. Obviously, you see Elgin, he lost 40 pounds. Looks in phenomenal shape. He had new gear.
That was the giveaway.
Yeah.
As soon as you saw the new gear, I was like,
Elgin's winning.
Okay.
Like, Goto's wearing the same old Goto stuff. Taichi's wearing the same old Taichi. Like, but Elgin, he's got that, like, World's Greatest Tag Team / Kurt Angle, design shorts on.
Yeah, he looked like Shelton Benjamin circa 2005, getting ready for a Raw run.
Yeah.
Get ready to beat Triple H in the main event. Actually, I've seen Goto bust out new gear and still lose.
Of course.
So it's kind of okay. But Elgin, it was in great shape, and this match was much better than I thought it was going to be.
Dude, it exceeded my expectations. Obviously, I wasn't really expecting much of this match. Not that I think it was going to be horrible. I just thought it would just be like a match on the card, and these guys went out and had a really good match.
Elgin was high flying.
Yeah,
he was doing planchas and tope suicidas and crap.
Taichi had his role in this match. He was, the heel that was kind of picking his spots and was trying to steal the belt from underneath both these guys.
You know what my favorite part was?
What?
When he rolled Miho Abe into the ring.
Yeah, it looked like she wasn't down with that.
She did not want to be rolled into the ring, bro. It was so funny. If you're not I don't know, that probably makes me sound sexist. Only in a purely wrestling centric way, not in an actual I want Miho Abe to get hurt or something to be done against her will. God, guys, I can feel the judgment coming through. I can feel it from our listeners. They're not even hearing it in real time, but I can feel it. Just want to preface, I love
their strong style senses tingling.
Yeah. No, but I thought it was a genuinely funny part of the match because like her face, she didn't want to be rolled in, and he's just like, get in there. And then he tried to use that as a spot to like hit them with the mic stand, and it didn't even work at all.
Oh man!
So I liked that a lot. Like that's just one example of why Taichi is so great.
Yeah, dude. He fit in this match perfectly, and of course, it's always great to see Miho Abe out there.
They were doing some really like awesome high spots. There was the one spot where Elgin did the like jump from behind like corner power bomb, like the Tower of Doom spot.
Oh yeah.
Really, really good stuff. He's just buckle bombing people. Like he put in a performance because he knew he was going over.
But yeah, the finish came to Elgin. He buckle bombed. Was it Goto that he buckle bombed into Taichi? Or
he head kicked Goto, and then
he buckle bombed Goto.
Yep.
Into Taichi.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. This show is so long. There's so much stuff that happened.
Yeah, but yeah, he buckle bombs one of them into the corner, and then he hit the Elgin bomb on Taichi. I think he buckle bombed Taichi into Goto, and then he hit the Elgin bomb onto Taichi and got the win.
That is exactly what happened, because remember, he didn't pin Goto, which was part of the story.
Yeah, which sets up the rematch for one of the Kizuna Road shows.
So what did you think about this title win and title change here?
So I was expecting a title change, but I thought Taichi was going to win it just because...
That's right, you predicted that.
I went with Taichi just because, they just moved into the heavyweight division, and it seemed like they seemed to kind of be pushing him here and there.
I liked his promos about taking on the juniors.
And because of that, I was like, oh, maybe that's like the new gimmick they're going to run. Like, Taichi's going to win this thing, and he's going to start like picking off like the juniors.
It's one of those things though with New Japan, because there's not so much scripting and things like that. Plus, no one knows. From all accounts, from what all the wrestlers say and all the credible sources, the wrestlers don't know till they get there really who's actually going over.
Right, yeah.
So they just try their best to utilize their character to cut promos that they think will be beneficial, but they don't ever know if it's going to pay out. You know? So like Taichi being like, I'm going to start wrestling juniors, like that's him just trying to
throw out like a story.
Yeah, give something to himself. Yeah. You know how they say creative has nothing for you? He's trying to give something for creative.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of guys do this sort of thing. But a lot of these backstage promos, as entertaining as they are and stuff, they don't always indicate what's actually going to happen, which is kind of a nice like little wrinkle, because it's not always easy to predict. Like, other promotions where it's all scripted, everything is leading to something, which, some people like it that way, but it's more complex in New Japan. These guys are playing out their characters, and Taichi's a scumbag. Like, he doesn't want to defend against Goto or
Exactly,
Elgin.
right. He wants to defend against...
He wants to take on Taguchi.
Yeah. In Tiger Mask.
Tiger Mask. Tiger Mask 4. And
yeah.
Like, that's who he wants to beat for the belt. Like, that's his whole thing, so it's great. Now, we've been talking about Elgin, since the beginning of the year. I think we talked about how last year he just had so many phenomenal performances, but from a story standpoint... like he had a lot of losses. He didn't seem to be in that prominent position. He's not the guy that had held the IC title just 2 years ago.
Right. And then, coming into the New Japan Cup, he gets that big win over Ishii, and we thought, we're in line for this huge Michael Elgin push, and...
Stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was it. And then he hasn't really done much.
Then he just went right back into multi-man matches,
which they're great at doing the stop and then the push and all that. I don't know if this will be a long title reign or anything like that, but I don't feel like it's a bad guy to put it on.
Oh no, I think Elgin's a great fit for the Never title.
Goto wasn't setting the world ablaze with this belt,
right?
You know what I mean?
I think it was good. I mean, it Goto's run kind of got stale.
I don't think he had a single good title defense except for this is the best title defense.
Yeah,
the whole run.
Yeah, and so I think it's good to freshen things up. I think Elgin can have a lot of good matches with people.
Elgin's fantastic. I mean, say what you want about the guy, and there's a lot to say about him, but aside from his extracurriculars and even some of the criticisms people have had about his in-ring, the guy can wrestle.
Yeah.
He just flat out can wrestle. And I mean, he looked really impressive. He looks motivated right now.
Yeah.
He's got the strap, he's got the gold. Give him the gold, and
let's see what he does with
let's
this.
see what he does with it. Yeah. I mean, he's got the Antonio Inoki Strong Style World Championship now. He's gonna start chopping the crap out of everybody, dropping people on their heads. Like, that's what he does. So yeah, I was what's that meme that you go, is it what is it, disappointed or
just disappointed but not surprised?
Yeah, disappointed but not. No, I wasn't disappointed, but I was a little bit surprised.
Yeah,
but I was surprisingly
pleasantly
surprised.
Yeah, same here. So next we started going into pretty much the top of the card, the
meat and potatoes, if you will.
Yeah. Started sizzling right here. We had the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team title match. The champions Evil and Sonata defending against the Young Bucks. And as we've learned, I didn't know this because I hadn't been watching New Japan as much as you have. This is actually the Young Bucks' second time challenging for the heavyweight tag titles. They challenged the Briscoes previously, but for years and years, the Young Bucks have kind of been, petitioning to get into the heavyweight tag division and to be a constant challengers for the IWGP heavyweight tag titles. And so this was a big moment for them to finally, they're in the heavyweight division and be getting this tag title match on a big show. This was a big deal for them.
Yeah, I think part of the deal is, they did have a title shot previously, but it was on one of those destruction shows, first of all. Those aren't big cards. Second off, they were pretty much told ahead of time, you're not leaving the junior division. So they knew that even if they did win, it didn't really signal any major change, and then B, they weren't going to win. So
right. And they were facing the Briscoes, which they face all the time in Ring of Honor. Yeah,
so it's one of those things where that was like a nice little superlative, a little, that a boy sort of thing, but it wasn't anything where it was like, here you guys go, you've arrived, you're here. And that's what this match was. Yeah. It's like the big bucks are here. They're here to stay, and they're a force to be reckoned with in this heavyweight tag division, which I love it, man. I love it.
This is the shot in the arm that this tag division really needed, especially losing, War Machine.
Yeah.
And, we don't have Elgin and Cobb in a full-time team. There haven't been pretty much any really standout. Even Guerrillas of Destiny have kind of faded away.
Yeah, I don't know what they've been doing this year. They've been on the back burner or something.
Yeah, so there really hasn't been any standout teams besides
the main standout team this year was Chase and Kota Ibushi. the golden jewels.
Yeah,
they're fantastic.
Yeah, they should have gotten a tag title shot.
They probably will.
But
next.
Yeah. But yeah, Evil and Sonata and pretty much Killer Elite Squad have been as far as in the championship picture, the main two teams.
Yeah, that's true. And then you've had Toru Yano and Ishii sitting on the outside.
Right, which we thought they were building those guys up for.
Seemed like it. I think if Evil hadn't got injured, they probably would have got a title shot. But this match just flat out freaking delivered.
Yeah, this was a great match. Excellent layout. All four guys, performed their role perfectly. Very hot match. A lot of drama.
Dude, the storytelling.
Yes.
Dude, Nick Jackson. Oh my gosh.
Dude, kicking the ring post. Taking away the all-important super kick leg.
This man was working me, bro. I got emotionally invested in this match. When there was the one point where after he'd injured his foot, like you said, he super kicked the post. He was selling it the whole match. Mm-hmm. And if anyone's listened to the show, I don't know if you guys know, I am a huge fan of Southern style wrestling tag team matches, and so I love when someone has to overcome an injury in these matches. I love that. And in the past it's been Matt, now it's Nick. When he got up for he started to get up for more bang for your buck. Is that what it was?
No, they were going for Melter Driver.
And he's going for the Melter Driver, and he slipped, and I was like, oh, Nick! Nick!
Yeah, man.
Nick-san!
I mean, this match just was like almost like a screw you to all of the Young Bucks haters. All the guys who said they're just high spot artists.
Bro,
they can't sell, they can't work.
This year's been like the screw you to the Young Buck haters. Like, this whole past year, these guys, I think almost every great tag team match that I've seen this year personally, almost, not every, but like the ones that are really memorable, I've had the Young Bucks in them.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I'm not like the Young Buck mark of this podcast. That's Jeremy. Jeremy loves the Young Bucks.
Heck yeah, dude.
And I like them a lot, but like, dude, like, yeah, this the way they worked this match, and then take nothing away from Evil and Sonata. Evil and Sonata were great in this match.
Yeah. I mean, they did a great job kind of playing like the bullies, especially once Nick got hurt. They were kind of like the sharks that smell like the blood in the water, and like,
man, there were so many times where they teased the skull end, and I thought it was over.
Dude, yeah, the one skull end where I think it was Matt, he did like the cyclone spin around and then like locked it in, and like, and then they hit the Magic Killer, which I thought was Game Time because that's their tag finisher, but then I believe they hit the Magic Killer on Matt, and then Nick out of nowhere like came for the save.
Is that their finisher?
LIJ?
Yeah, it is. I always get it mixed up. I always can't remember if it's them or KES. I know they got the killer bomb, but still. But yeah, man, like this match just had me popping, and they got a good amount of time, 15 minutes, but they did so much in 15 minutes.
Yeah,
like,
it was a jam-packed 15 minutes.
It was just back and forth. Like, that's one of the things that the Young Bucks are really great at. Not just the athleticism, not just the storytelling. Like, the exchanges in the swings and momentum. They'll have you think in 1 minute they're about to lose, and then the next minute they're about to win. You never can. It really is like a roller coaster ride. It's very hard in their matches to tell who actually is going to pull out the win. That's something that they're masters of.
Yeah. And the finish came here. They hit my favorite, one of my favorite of their finishers, some more bang for your buck on Sonata, and got the pin.
Yeah, and I mean, prior to that, it was actually one of the best tag team sequences that I remember seeing this entire year, up until that point. So I mean, high drama, and yeah, the Young Bucks are the champions. And I was sitting back, and I know last week I said I thought they were going to lose, and while I was watching the match, I was like, why did I say that? I don't really know why I even thought that was going to happen. Like, I felt stupid for making that prediction.
Well, it's not a completely stupid prediction, because we do know that New Japan does like to book heartbreaks, and this would have been, if Evil and Sonata would have won, this would have been a heartbreak, like this big moment for the Young Bucks, and they lost. And then obviously, they're a Japanese company. It was not a surprise that they would want Japanese champions. You know what?
Prior to that, I had been thinking that whoever LIJ faced next, that they were going to lose to them. But then it was the Young Bucks, and I was just like, they might not put. You know what it was? I thought that there's going to be other title switches, and I didn't. I don't know. Sometimes it's that Western wrestling fan of me. I don't always think they're going to change this many titles in one night.
Right, yeah.
So I try to play the odds.
Yeah, somebody else I was listening to brought that up. Like, why do we as wrestling fans like assume that you can't have like a bunch of title changes on one card, or if this title changes, that title's not going to change, and we make our predictions based on that.
Because we've been conditioned to think that way.
Yeah,
that is why. And so I fell victim to that, and I thought. I thought for sure that they were going to do the junior tag title switch, and then I thought maybe the heavyweight title was going to switch, and I thought, maybe the IC title switch was going to happen. Those were all the predictions I was already making. So I was like, they're not going to change this one. Well, they might not do this one. You know what I mean?
I predicted every title was changing except the IC title.
Wow.
And so, I mean,
got the vision.
Yeah, I mean, like I told you, man, I saw the ending with the Young Bucks as the heavyweight tag champs and Kenny as a heavyweight champ.
I'm proud of you, bro.
Taking my little victory lap. But yeah. And so, yeah, Young Bucks are the new champions. They're bringing new life to this heavyweight tag division.
Immediately.
Yeah.
It's immediate. As soon as they've won the belts, I'm immediately like, I'm all in.
Yeah.
I'm all in on the heavyweight tag division. And every single match that they could possibly have that they've never had seems so freaking exciting to me. Bro, them and KES.
That's going to be good.
Them and potentially GOD. Them and Ishii and Toru Yano.
Them against Suzuki and Sabre.
There's a lot.
Yeah. And speaking of all in, post-match, Matt Jackson goes over to Don Callis, says that, asking if he's busy September 1st and needs somebody on the sticks for all in. And says Don Callis is all in. So that means that somehow, some way, all in will be broadcasted.
On Twitch.
On the Social Suplex podcast.
Via the Social Suplex podcast.
We cut a deal with the But
what if we did? That'd be amazing.
Yeah, I think we got a while to go before we cut big deals like that.
My sales skills are top notch. I just gotta call Cody. Cody, let me talk to you for a minute.
Yeah, so, we're going to be at All In live, but if you weren't as lucky as Josh and I to grab tickets for this show, it's going to be... As blessed, yeah. As blessed as we were. It's either going to be like on iPay-per-view or pay-per-view or stream somewhere, so... It's
like that Velveteen Dream promo from this past week. I'm blessed. The thing about being blessed is you have it. And by it, we mean the all-in tickets, baby.
Yes. Can't wait. It's going to be great.
Also, not to get off topic, not for nothing. That freaking promo between
Dream and
Ricochet. Oh my God. I know it's NXT, guys, but if you haven't seen that promo video, it's just incredible.
It's fire.
Patrick Clark is one of the best freaking talents in the business today. Like, let's get that young man over in New Japan. Yo, he'd be never champion in everything.
Oh man,
he'd be something. He win a U.S. title or something.
Yeah. Have Juice and him in tag team.
Won a 6-man tag title or something. He's good. That boy's good. No, he's really good though.
But speaking of 6-man tags, that was the following match. We had the dream team of Rey Mysterio Jr., Jushin Thunder Liger, and Hiroshi Tanahashi taking on the Bullet Club team of Marty Scurll, the American Nightmare Cody, and Hangman Adam Page.
Who else wants Rey Mysterio, Jushin Liger, and Hiroshi Tanahashi to be like
the never 6-man?
I want them to be all the 6-man titles.
I want them to
go to ROH, get those belts, get these belts.
CMLL.
Go to CMLL, get some trios titles. Get some. I just want them to carry all the belts like they're
Ultimo Dragon.
Like 3 Ultimo Dragons just traveling the globe carrying gold. I love this team.
Yeah, we know Skrull. He's 1/3 of the never 6-man champs, but he's partnered with the Young Bucks. But I really wish that it was Skrull, Cody, and Page that were the champions, so we could get a 6-man championship
They should have done
match.
Freebird rules.
Yeah, Bullet Club Freebird rules.
They did. Remember we saw Kenny Omega defend the
Ring of Honor. They did Bullet Club Elite like Freebird rules.
Yeah,
that was cool. So this match was obviously setting up kind of future rivalries probably for Rey Mysterio.
I just know that like when Rey came out, I got literal chills. Oh yeah, before we move on, I just want to say that like, dude, I got really emotional at many parts of this night, and that's how I know how good this night was. And when the Young Bucks won, I don't want to move on without covering this. I got very emotional about watching them win.
That was like one moment, like Rich and I like jumped up. We were like hugging each other, like high fiving, like yes, bro, they did it,
bro. Like I got emotional, dude, because like I'm like proud of these dudes. I've seen them for so many years.
Yeah, man.
And like
freaking, I've been watching them, since the early Ring of Honor days and the Generation Me TNA days.
Yeah.
To see them like evolve to this point has been amazing.
Yeah, I was happy. I was proud to see that. And then this was another moment where like when Rey Mysterio came out, I got chills, bro. And when he revealed that mask,
dude, his mask was fire. The half Mysterio, half Lion Mark mask, dude, and the logo.
That mask is one of the best masks he's ever worn.
Yeah, dude.
And also, speaking of which, have you noticed? Dan, I'm doing a podcast, bro. I'm gonna send you to voicemail. My phone keeps chirping.
These marks calling us.
All these marks, man. But anyways, I've always thought that Rey Mysterio with tights is better than the pants. Not totally. When he first came back in 2002,
yeah,
and he had the pants.
Those pants are fire.
Yeah, but then over time, when he kept coming back, I just was I want Rey Mysterio to go back to Rey Mysterio, And did you notice that they call him Rey Mysterio Jr.?
Yeah, well, it's the whole thing, and several people have said this, that Vince McMahon hates Junior, which is why he doesn't go by Vince McMahon Jr. And so that's why you notice a lot of luchadors that came into WWE that had the Junior got rid of it.
I've never noticed it.
Yeah, dude. Rey Mysterio came in, got rid of the Junior. Chavo Guerrero came in, got rid of the Junior. Anybody that came in that could have been a Junior, Ted DiBiase, Junior, got rid of the Junior. Anybody that could come in that had Junior, he got rid of it because he hates being called Junior.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why Y2J calls people Junior.
Yeah, I think it is. I think he's talking about that on Talk of Jericho. Because Vince sees being called Junior as an insult.
That is so funny, dude. I never knew that. You learn something new on this podcast every day.
Don't call me Junior, pal.
I don't want to do the Vince voice. That's just funny, dude. But yeah, so at the Royal Rumble this past year, when he came out and he had the pants or the tights on, I was like, oh my god, Rey looks awesome, and he's smaller, he dropped a lot of the weight.
Back in WCW.
Yeah, it's 1996 all over again.
Seriously.
And then he came out here, and I was like, this is just incredible. Rey is so much smaller than everyone else in the match, but he cast he's the biggest star of the match. He's standing next to Tanahashi and Liger, and he looks like a bigger star than he made Cody and Skrull and Adam Page look like jobbers to a certain degree. And also another thing I like about this is just the classic feel of an old school New Japan multi-man match. You got these baby faces, superhero type wrestlers, remind me of a Tiger Mask and I don't know, an Ultraman or something like that, matchup, and taking on these dirty foreigner heels, I don't know, a Bobby Duncombe Jr. or something like that, or something like that. That's what I felt like Dick Murdoch and Ted DiBiase and all these guys that used to come.
I'm really curious to see what Tanahashi's reaction was to working with Mysterio, just because at WrestleCon, we talked about this a few months ago when we were at WrestleCon, he was marking out for Shawn Michaels. He was like, Shawn Michaels is here? Where is Shawn Michaels? Do I have to wait in line for bro, you're Tanahashi. Just go over and walk and say hi to Shawn Michaels.
Do I have to wait in line to meet Shawn Michaels?
What do you do? Bro, go say hi to Shawn Michaels. So I'm wondering if he had another moment like that with Mysterio. I'm gonna work with Mysterio.
Well, Rey said that he did an interview about this. He says one of the most exciting debuts he's ever had in his career. And the idea of working with Liger and Tanahashi was mind blowing to him. So I think it kind of goes both
all
ways.
Around, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, what a team, dude.
Yeah.
And this match was maybe not as, this was the one match where I felt where we talk about everything got better. Mm-hmm. It was kind of hard. Dude, I don't know. Let me ask you, where were you on that Young Bucks match? I'm 4.5.
I'm in between 4.5 and 4.75.
High ratings.
Yeah.
So this was, maybe not that caliber of match, but for the historicity or whatever, the historic nature of it, seeing all these different guys and then Cody.
Just the aura of all those legends, was great enough to keep even though the match was not this match was obviously nowhere on the level of the Young Bucks match.
The match was really good, though.
Yeah, it was a very good match.
And it didn't overstay its welcome, 11 minutes, and everybody got their stuff in. And I was really glad to see Hangman get an opportunity to be like the young guy working with all these legends. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and there was something you said during the show that I thought was really great.
Everything I say during the show was really great.
I know, but this was extra great.
Oh, so you said I know, so you agree.
like Kyle Moore said, like, more. What did he say? You know more about you've forgotten more about New Japan that we'll ever know.
Wikipedia, pal.
You mentioned that you said that Hangman Page reminded you of like a young Triple H.
Yeah.
In like 97, 98, that was like just super hungry and like you knew that he wanted.
Do you remember how hard he used to work?
Yeah.
Like when he was like tagging with Shawn, and when he was like going for the European belt
and working against like Rock.
And yeah, his specifically, I was thinking when I thought about him, I thought about his feud with Rock, and I was like, he reminds me of like Triple H 97, 98 before he went corporate. How like you could just see that this guy's going to be a star, but he hadn't quite made it yet. But like he had all the potential in the world.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what I see when I see Hangman in there. He's in there with all these, it's like he's with the clique,
Yeah.
He's like the guy they took under their wing. And I forgot I said that.
Yeah, the only problem I have with Hangman is he's a murderer.
I know he's innocent.
Oh, man.
I know he didn't do it. If the glove don't fit, you must acquit.
I don't know, man. He looks pretty guilty.
That's
the blood's on the boot.
That's what the real murderer wants you to think. It's Fat Massa.
Badass Massa is the murderer.
It is. How about, we'll get to being the elite in a minute, but how about earlier when he's like, oh wait, did you see when he announced the E3? He's like, oh, you guys, da da da, and they're like, Fat Massa, did you literally just say, and they said all this other stuff that he like could never say.
Yeah.
like wait, so Fat Massa, you mean to tell me? And I was like, this is great. Like, so what if like Fat Massa was the murderer, and like that voice that you're hearing is
Fat Massa?
Is Fat Massa.
Oh my gosh, that'd be hilarious.
And,
but back to this match. Ended up breaking down with Cody hitting the crossroads on Liger to get the pin. 11 minutes, 35 seconds.
Who did we think was going to win that match? Did I think the Legends were going to win?
I think we both... Did we both predict the Legends winning?
Yeah, but I think I also said, like, but at the same time, like, don't be surprised if
Cody
or Marty, like, cheats and, gets a quick win to set something up for the Cow Palace show.
Right, and clearly, with Cody getting the pin, we know exactly why.
Yeah.
And we'll touch on that a little bit later.
Although I am wondering, like, we had a question from Brant Morris last week where he asked us, like, why didn't they do a singles match with Marty and Ray? And they haven't announced anything yet, so I am wondering, like, do you think that coming out of this match there's enough, like, interest or build to warrant a singles match, like, later on out of this?
Definitely. I mean, they've only announced, like, 4 matches.
That's not what I mean. I mean, obviously they can book it. I mean, like, do you think that after watching this match, that's a match you want to see, not just because it's Rey Mysterio, but from the build of this match? Because I didn't really feel that way.
I mean, it's not I wouldn't say it's like a must-see, like I wouldn't that wouldn't be the main reason why I bought a ticket to go to a show to see Rey Mysterio versus Marty Scurll. But I like Mysterio a lot. I like Scurll a lot. They're both great wrestlers. It's going to be a great match. So it's something I want to see. It's not going to be like the main... I'm not tuning in the G1 special in the USA solely because of Mysterio and Scurll.
Well, of course I want to see that match. But what I felt like was if they were going to do a finish, they should have done a finish that was more geared towards building towards that match.
Like Scurll cheating to beat Mysterio.
Something like that.
They probably should have done that, but then they needed to heat Cody up.
Cody's got so much heat. They don't need to heat that dude up.
He needs more.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this. And then was there an attack after the match? Is that what happened? Or
no?
Basically, all I remember is all I know is the good guys stood tall at the end and held each other's arms up either way.
Yeah, I think after they got the win, they chased him out of the ring.
Yeah, so really, 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 really good match. Great moment. First time in history that we've ever seen Rey Mysterio compete in a New Japan ring. I think it's the first time since '96.
So he'll definitely be a candidate for our newcomer of the year.
No way. He can't be newcomer of the year, can he?
Why not?
Because he only wrestled one match.
So the year's not over yet.
Well, you said definitely a candidate.
Well, not definitely. He's a potential.
He could be a
candidate for the Newcomer of the Year award.
Taiji Ishimori is going to win that probably.
Yeah. Realistically, right now, Taiji's winning.
Taiji's like one of the front runners. There's some other people too.
But if Ray makes a few more dates, I mean, we can put him on the ballot.
Oh yeah, we should really ask the fans what they think about Jericho being nominated for that.
Yeah. So if you're new to the show. Because we started this show in December, and I think it was our third or fourth episode. We did our year-end awards. It's one of the early episodes. You can find it in the archives. We did a year-end award, and we threw it out on Reddit, Twitter, Facebook. All you guys voted in this poll to help us pick out the Keeping It Strong Style year-end awards. And one of our categories is the Newcomer of the Year award, who won that last year?
Marty Scurll?
Yeah.
Or was it Zack Sabre Jr.? I'll have to go back and look.
I'll have to go back. Yeah, I'm blanking right now. But yeah, it was either Scurll or Sabre. So pretty much whoever comes in and makes their debut in that time period, we put all the guys who came in New Japan, and you guys vote who's the newcomer. Now here's the thing with Chris Jericho. We're kind of on the fence on whether or not he should be eligible to be on the ballot, because technically he has wrestled in New Japan before this run in the 90s.
But yeah, I mean, it just feels like a totally different guy.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's the same guy, but I mean, that was 1996, and I mean, this is the first time in 22 years the dude has been a mainstay in the company. So I don't know.
So let us know. Tweet us at KI Strong Style and let us know if we should put Jericho on the ballot for Newcomer of the Year.
And then we'll do whatever we feel like doing.
We'll pull a One Nation Radio and...
Oh, yeah. I can't heat them. I forgot that they even did that. Anyways, let's get to this... Let's get to this triple main event. Oh.
Yeah, the junior heavyweight title match.
Oh my gosh.
Will Ospreay versus Takahashi, Last Bump Mania.
Yeah, so we actually watched the press conference from the day before, and just classic stuff, man. Hiromu, his entrance where he just
comes in, he's looking like a creeper.
Just comes from around, he just slides,
sliding,
and he's just staring at everyone, and the look on his face is just priceless. I'm what is wrong with this dude? Seriously.
And they were talking about his triangle chokehold being called the D.
Yeah. So I don't feel bad for not remembering this, because I've clearly stated on the show that I cherry-picked the best, the G1 Climax, but I know you watched a lot more of it, and I think you forgot that
he did pull out the triangle choke last year.
Yep. So I found this out on Reddit. I wish I had looked up the user so I could give credit to them, but I didn't. So. But there was a discussion about him naming his triangle choke the D, which during this press conference, Will Ospreay had to basically explain to him
why it's a bad thing it's called the D.
Well, just that there's another connotation in the West when you call something the D and you're doing a triangle choke. It's kind of a strange deal altogether.
Yeah.
And I thought he was calling it the D because it's the D. And I was this dude Hiromu is stupid, but no. So apparently, what it is that he he came out with busted. He he came up with this move, the triangle choke, last year during the G1 Climax when they're doing the tag matches, and like just before that, Bad Luck Fale had ripped up Daryl, and so this was in honor of Daryl. It was a homage to him. That's why he was calling it D, because it's like the nickname for Daryl.
Yeah.
So I think somewhere in the translation it got lost, but then we didn't really see him doing the triangle choke too much this whole year, and then he brought it back, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, the D.
Yeah.
And we're like, I don't know if you want to be calling it that, dude.
Oh man, but dude, this match, so many crazy spots between these guys. These guys, man, we talk about it all the time. They throw their bodies. I mean, they put their bodies at risk to go out there and try to have the best match on the card.
Yeah, man. Will Ospreay had a great Muda Dantaku 93 moment where he like literally ran down the entire rampway
and did that big flip dive, and like he had so much momentum, like he had to like keep rolling after he hit Takahashi.
Yep. I don't know, man. To me, and I don't know if I'm just being overzealous, but like this felt like one of, if not the best junior match I saw this year.
Yeah.
So far. And I don't think a lot of people felt that way. I've seen a lot of people say that they liked their first match better, which I do think they did a lot of crazy stuff in that match. But this match, to me, like seemed more cohesive and had a better ending. Like it didn't feel abrupt. It felt more satisfying. Like that match was so excellent until the end, and it just came from out of nowhere. And that's what kind of brought it down for me. But this match was just like, it was nearly perfect, man. Nearly perfect.
I mean, all the ranas and suplexes and dives and just so many great spots and reversals. And, Takahashi, definitely there was some, got him in that triangle choke and thinking that Will was going to tap out. And Will was trying to power out. And he got out and was able to make a comeback. But yeah, man, just so much great stuff.
Yeah, I thought Will was done at one point with that. There was just, this match was very cohesive. And one thing that was so important about this to me was like during the press conference when they were talking about the importance, and you keep hearing it from a lot of these junior guys, and they reiterated the fact during the press conference that like it's not like the IWGP title is the most, to them, this is the belt. This is the most important belt in the company. And over the years on these Dantaku or on these Dominion shows, you're slowly but surely seeing the junior title creep up in importance. Like, I think last year it was 4th from the top.
Yeah.
And now it's 3rd. I mean, over everything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these guys are bringing this division to a level of prominence. Now, that's not to throw slight at legends of the past or what they've accomplished, but like at no time in New Japan's history has the division as a whole felt as important. That's not to say that it hasn't been better, but it might not even have been better. Like this might be the best it's ever been, but this is the most important that the belt has ever felt, like the most prestigious. It's at a new level of like importance, and it's because it's off the back of what these guys are doing, what they're doing, not just with the way that they're putting their bodies on the line, but the in-ring stories that they're telling, and then the personas that they're carrying. And like these guys, this matters to them. And like I think like Will had said something about during the press conference, I can't remember the statement he made, and Hiromu like corrected him. He's like, no, the best belt.
Right. He said that we've worked on making this belt like the second best belt in New Japan.
Yeah.
And then Hiromu was like, no, this is the top belt.
Yeah, he's like top belt, best belt, and like, but the thing is, he believes it.
Yeah.
He believes it, and that's the thing. Like these guys believe it, and when you see like someone who's cutting a promo or something like that, and they believe what they're doing, that comes through, and that's what you can see with these guys. Like they really believe in what they're doing.
And yeah, and just it's going to be a great thing for the division moving forward to establish the title so high and like have guys like not having to move up to be bigger stars, but they can be a big star right there in the junior division.
Well, remember when we first started and people were asking about the differences, and I was like, dude, it's like UFC. It's like weight classes, In boxing, Floyd Mayweather's the top draw. He's a welterweight, 147 pounder. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, Klitschko wasn't the top draw, They're starting to get there now. The guys that are on top now, I forget who's up there. British guy, Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, all that. But, the top draws are the middleweights, the welterweights, 145, 147, 160. Same thing in the UFC. Like, the top draws are the welterweights, middleweights, and the lightweights.
Right, and I think
featherweight.
I think for new fans that are coming in to watching New Japan, who are used to watching other promotions where the cruiserweight / lightweight / junior divisions are not emphasized as on the same level as the heavyweight title, so they automatically assume that, these guys are in the junior division, they're less than the heavyweight guys, and they need to move up to be stars and be recognized. But that's not the case. Like you mentioned, it's like UFC. This is just the junior heavyweight division. These guys weigh a certain amount, but they are just as great as the heavyweight wrestlers.
See, that's how it was in England back in the day. When they had their world titles, that's how it was. Like, the heavyweight belt was not the most prominent belt because the best wrestlers didn't wrestle at that weight class. The best wrestlers wrestled at the lightweight class. Same thing in Mexico. Now it's different in AAA now. Now they got the mega title, but like with them, the in CMLL, the heavyweight title it's not the main title. It's the lighter weight classes, and it fluctuates very much so the same way. Like, there is no belt in CMLL that is the top belt. It's whoever the top star is that happens to be
right. Whoever the best wrestler is who has the top belt.
That's how it is in real sports. The real champ, whoever's the most prominent and compelling figure, whatever belt he carries, is the one that matters.
And we saw with the Super Juniors tour. These juniors were drawing.
Yes.
And packing out Cork and Hall.
Yes.
With minimum heavyweight star power.
Yep, absolutely. Like, Hiromu's on the cusp, man, and him and Will Ospreay. And so this match was just like a testament to what they've accomplished, where they're going. I thought this match was really, 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 really excellent. And the only other junior singles men match that I thought maybe this year, well, obviously the Ishimori match and Hiromu, but then also the Will Ospreay and Marty Scurll match. But both of those matches had some slights to it. This match just felt like the most complete match I'd seen this year. And another thing too is, like, I think we were both expecting Hiromu to win the belt.
Yeah.
And I started doubting it towards the end because they started getting me to believe, like, Will's gonna pull this thing out.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where you're like, man, Hiromu really needs this. But then, Will started coming back, and you're like, dang it, he's gonna
do it again.
They're gonna make him like Okada, where he just keeps beating people, and he's gonna be the junior champion for 700 days.
I don't think quite that long, but
yeah. But that was not the case. Takahashi was able to hit the time bomb and become the new champion.
They did drop each other on their heads a lot, though, in this match. That's the one thing where I was like...
Especially Takahashi with that new butterfly pile driver that he's been using.
I've heard people, say that these guys are trained workers and all that, and they know no, I don't like it, man. I really, really, really don't like it.
It's dangerous looking, and I guess it's a good...
No, it's more than dangerous looking. It is dangerous.
Yeah.
There's no way that that's not dangerous.
Yeah, because I don't see how there's a possible safe bump from that.
That is dangerous.
You're getting dropped on your head and neck area.
If you just understand physics.
Yeah, all
and you understand how dangerous, say, a pile driver is, but how they protect with a pile driver using the legs and the thighs.
Yeah.
That's not there, dude.
There's no protection.
There's no way that's safe.
It's not even
they're just rolling and hoping that they land on their shoulder and neck the proper way.
Yeah.
Which you can't really even do. You're getting dropped from that height, 100, 200 pound guy. Come on, man.
It's not even like the Jade Driller, which again uses the legs to protect the neck.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
This was crazy.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, I don't know. I was 4 3/4 on this match.
Yeah, definitely. Same here. And so it was great just seeing Takahashi get this junior title. And
I was so excited to see Hiromu get the belt again, Belto-san.
Yeah. And this was just an excellent matchup.
Man, we marked out for that too.
Yeah,
when he finally did it, he hit him with the time bomb.
Yeah.
Oh my god. This is like the indie darling dream card. Like every Young Bucks win, Hiromu wins. Like this is crazy.
Yeah, and there are definitely challengers lined up for Takahashi. One already announced for Kizuna Road. We'll talk about that later. So yeah, looking forward to more excellent junior title matches this year.
I'm interested to see where Will Ospreay goes from this.
Yeah,
because this is a lengthy title run. I'm interested to see what they do with him next. And I'm looking forward to, dude. My favorite phase of the juniors was when Hiromu held the belt and he was turning Wade challenger after challenger after challenger, and I'm like, all right,
let's do it again.
let's run it back.
Run it.
I'm ready. I love Hiromu. Like, I can't wait. Hiromu in the D. I was waiting for you to laugh at that.
I was trying to think of where to go next.
If you didn't laugh at that, that would be one of the weirdest segments of our Hiromu in the D, and then just all right, and then next let's just move.
Oh man. So next up, we had the IWGP Intercontinental title match.
IWGP.
Dude, speaking of that, there's been a lot of podcasts that have been referencing the Hogan IWGP promos, and we've been.
It's a famous bit, though.
I know, but lately, we've been talking about that joke since we've started this show.
I've been talking about that joke for years. I like to bring it up as often.
I know,
as
but
can.
on recorded audio on this show specifically, we've talked about that Hogan bit, and I feel like.
I'll never forget the first time I saw it. I was in utter shock that it happened. I could kayfabe died that day.
Yeah. Yeah, they were talking about it on Pritchard's show last week.
Really?
Yeah. And a couple other podcasts. So another podcast, I can't remember who else brought it up too.
I know one that I heard it on, but I don't think, I'm not going to say they copied us or anything. I don't think that.
No, I'm not saying.
I think it's more just a funny coincidence.
I think it's a funny coincidence that we've that's like a running joke between all of us, all of our friends, this IWGP thing.
Yeah.
And then now it's starting to come to light again.
I didn't know Pritchard brought that up.
Yeah.
What did he say?
Because they were talking about the '93 King of the Ring.
Yeah.
Which was Hogan's last show before
when that jabroni got jobbed out by the great Japanese wrestler Yokozuna.
Yeah, and they were talking about
Samoa.
Hogan not wanting to wrestle for any other company in Japan besides New Japan, and they talked about that.
Why would he wrestle for any other company?
Because around that time period, WWF was doing something in Japan with Tenryu's group.
And, Super World of Sport.
Yeah,
he did wrestle for them.
Right, but I guess there was an issue. There was an issue with it or whatever because Hogan only wanted to wrestle for New Japan.
I don't know how true that is. That sounds like one of those Pritchard the Liar sort of crap. Because the thing is, Hogan went to Super World of Sport and he wrestled on at least 2 of their shows, maybe 3.
But maybe I'm recalling exactly what he said wrong. But
no. That sounds right, but it's not right.
Yeah,
it sounds right, but. He wrestled for SWS.
But they were just talking about how wrestlers would say stuff and would not expect it to come back because there was the obviously there was no huge internet or social media or anything back then.
I'll tell you what, the other day, okay, so I'm still working on my 70s project, the infamous 70s project.
Yeah.
I watched this this match between, it was a fight between Inoki and Mike Left Hook Dayton, who was a kung fu master and bodybuilder. And so, as I'll do often to try to gain some context on some of these matches, I'll look them up on the internet, see if I can find a write-up, a review, something. I found this antiquated Black Belt Magazine 1979 interview with Mike Left Hook Dayton, where he explained to them what happened in the Super World fight that he had with the great Black Belt master Antonio Inoki. He told them that Antonio Inoki was a black belt in judo, a black belt in karate, a black belt in jiu-jitsu, a black belt, and he's he's one of the highest ranked martial artists and all of. And don't get me wrong, Inoki was no slouch, and he was a true martial artist. But this dude jobbed, so he starts building it up. He doesn't want people to know that he does works, so he's making it seem like he's fighting one of the greatest fighters that ever lived. Then he lies to them about how the match even goes down. You guys can find this. It's in the archives. I've read it for free. It's on the internet. Just Google it. Mike Dayton versus Inoki, Black Belt Magazine. Then he tells them that the fight ended in a draw when the referee, in the 5th round, when the referee tried to step between them, he accidentally hit the referee, and that they had to be broken apart, and it was quite wild. And he also said it was a shoot. He told them like flat out, like it was a real fight. Like he did not tell them it was a work. That man never knew that the internet was coming. I watched that match. It was not a draw. He jobbed.
Yeah, dude. A lot of these back then, like, they didn't know the internet was coming.
Oh, and he lied. He told them that he dropped Inoki a bunch of times. He never dropped Inoki. Like, this is not true. My God. Yeah. Guys did not know the internet was coming.
Yeah.
The stuff you hear on this podcast is great.
It's hilarious. So back to this IC title match. So we had the champion Tetsuya Naito defending against the Alpha Chris Jericho.
Oh man,
dude, Jericho coming out looking like Jericho.
Dude, yeah, he looked like the Crow. He looked like Alice Cooper. Mixed in a little bit of Freddie Mercury or some Ziggy Stardust, some like David Bowie. Like I saw influences from all these guys, and I was like, "What the heck is Kiss?" Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little like what's his name? Paul Simmons.
Paul Stanley.
Paul Stanley. Yeah, I was like, Paul Simmons, Richard Simmons. I was like, "What is Jericho doing?" Like, what is this right now?
Dude, he debuted a new character pretty much, like the next evolution of the Alpha.
I thought that him putting on the black lipstick for the attack was just like a take on Bushi and all that, like to blend in. But now that he's like, I don't like it actually. I'll tell you that much. I like the idea here.
Yeah.
I'm not against it. I like it a lot. I like Crazy Jericho and I liked this, but I just specifically just don't like the lipstick. Specifically, that one thing. Everything else, I was all in on, but this was different. How about last year when we were previewing Wrestle Kingdom? We were like, I feel like we're gonna get this dude to come out in pants,
right? And
he came out in tights instead, and we were like, dang it, like Jericho. Well, he came out in freaking leather pants.
Yeah,
so this guy's a rock star now.
Yeah,
like crazy, like Terry Funk. Alice Cooper, I don't know, just psycho. Like the dude's psycho. He's freaking crazy.
Yeah, and dude, then Naito came out in the white suit and the mask, and he actually brought the IC title out, but he dropped it on the stage.
Yeah, he dropped it halfway
and left it there. But then after that, dude, Jericho brought this man to the jump zone and literally whooped Naito's ass.
This was much better than I thought it was going to be. It exceeded my expectations. I thought it was better than the junior match. I did. I think I'm probably higher on than a lot of other people, but it's the 1980s wrestling fan of me. Like watching this, I'm like, UWF, Mid-South, Georgia Championship Wrestling, world class. Like that's what this is. Like it takes me back to that, and I'm like, oh my God, like, and then the fact that like Naito didn't get out of his like clothes for like half
forever,
the match.
Yeah, dude.
It just reminded me of like,
it was just whooping on that man.
Yeah, remind me of like an old school like tuxedo match. Like, you think I'm playing? I'm not even playing. Like coal miner's glove tuxedo match, like DiBiase and Duggan. Like that's what this felt like. And I mean, they were working stiff, so freaking stiff.
It was like we were saying, like they said, like backstage, like, I'm saying sorry now for what's going to happen out there.
Yeah, you said that they apologized to each other before the match started. Yeah, Naito at one point, his eye was bleeding on the inside.
Yeah.
Which is gross.
And, shout out to our buddy James Boyd. He said that like in the first 10 minutes, Naito looked like the continue screen from Street Fighter, like the 10, 9, and your guys look all like jacked up.
Yeah. I always like that part. But man, this was just excellent.
Yeah, man, the table.
Jericho's just crazy, bro.
Yeah, the table attack in the beginning, and Jericho like DDT'd Naito on a table. Then he he pile drived him on a table.
Yeah. You know what he got for Naito? Simpy. He got simpy on that, man. Naito just felt like the underdog babyface.
It was a powerbomb. He powerbombed him through a table.
Oh yeah, well no, they did do a pile driver.
It was Naito that pile drive.
Okay, Naito, yeah, but he powerbombed him
and
through the Japanese table. Bro, when have you seen a Japanese table break?
Not very often, but the DDT didn't break though.
That might be like the OMG moment of the year.
Yeah.
My God, like I marked almost harder for that than anything else this whole night.
We never hit the table.
I was like, the table broke. I was like Joey Styles. I was like, oh my God.
But yeah, the DDT didn't break, so we had the I am the table moment there. But yeah, and then finally, after that wild brawl, they finally get back in the ring and the match starts, and it was mainly Jericho in control a majority of this matchup.
Yeah. I just I didn't realize though that it was gonna be a no DQ match, that they'd waived the DQ the DQ rule. When did they announce that? Because I kind of missed it.
Well, Kevin Kelly just mentioned it on commentary. He was like, they waived the disqualification for this match, and
kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah. But it's just one of those things Jericho has mentioned, the one thing he does not like about New Japan, and something that we don't like, is how they treat the referees, and the refs just kind of let things go. And so that's why he made the Omega match no DQ, because he wanted to be able to do stuff and not make Red Shoes look stupid. So I'm sure that was the same thing here, and it was a last minute thing where he's like, no, I want no DQ because I want to make Red Shoes look credible for letting this stuff happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I thought the match was probably better for it.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
This match was just great, man. It was so old school. It was so violent. It was, and that's another thing on a match, on a show where you just have excellent undercard, and then you have that, that crazy Young Bucks match with the awesome storytelling, and then you've got the, the legends that all came back, and and then the crazy last bump match where Ospreay and Hiromu are gonna kill themselves. It's how do you follow all of that? Well, you do it by doing something totally different than everything else done.
Yeah, completely different from anything on the card. This was a violent, just brawling matchup.
Yeah, and I mean, it didn't try to be Okada Omega. You know what I mean? It was its own thing, and it was so well done for what it was that at the end of the night, you have to still give props to this. As great as the main event was, and as great as these other matches were, this thing stands on its own two legs. This could be the main event of any card of New Japan this entire year, and it would have been a fantastic main event. I thought it was great.
Yeah, it was great. The one thing though that was kind of confusing about the finish, even though they said that no DQ was waived, there was still a ref bump, and Jericho used that distraction to hit a low blow.
That's right.
And then he hit the code breaker.
That's right. And we were talking about that, and I think you guys kind of criticized it, and I was like, well, you gotta get heat somehow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess that's why they did it, but I don't really, I don't agree with it. I think it's kind of stupid as well. But I think it's also a way to protect Naito.
Right.
Not to, because in a sense, you can argue, did he beat him fair and square? According to the match rules, yeah, but this guy still did something dastardly, even in a match where he didn't have to.
Right. I mean, he was just dastardly the whole match before the match even started.
Yeah, it was Naito never got out of go.
Yeah.
Naito was fighting from underneath the whole entire match.
It just made him a sympathetic babyface.
Although he still got booed in Osaka.
Yeah.
He got booed in Osaka.
Somebody was talking about it. I think he did a promo last year that was if I don't come back.
It goes back further than that.
Okay.
It goes back to the whole Stardust Genius thing. Yeah, he's had issues. Osaka's the one city apparently where I guess he gets booed, which I was not privy to that. For some reason in my mind, and I'll admit it, earlier in the year, I think I messed up because I thought that Osaka Joe Hall was his town, It's not.
Clearly.
It's not. It's not. Like, it's the one place where they were the first ones to boo him, apparently, going back to, you know, when he, like, declared himself the top star of New Japan. And he's had issues with getting booed in Osaka forever. Like, even at the height of his popularity, like, it's, you know, they call Canada Bizarro Land?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah.
But it's not Bizarro Land. It's just, it's like, from what I understand, it's like a love-hate relationship between him and the Osaka crowd.
Yeah.
But they love Jericho.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, Jericho, yeah. I mean, that's another thing. Even though he got booed, like, how many times can you remember someone getting cheered over Naito?
Not many.
Kenny never did.
Yeah.
Okada never did. Well, I mean, not like recently.
Yeah, so yeah, that was wild. The fans
Tanahashi barely
were behind Jericho.
They were so behind Jericho. Yeah. They loved, dude. Weren't they chanting his name in other matches? Y2J, or maybe I was hearing it wrong.
I don't recall. I'll have to run it back, but I don't remember.
But yeah, so Jericho picks up the win with the freaking Codebreaker, and yeah.
Yeah, Jericho's now a 10-time Intercontinental Champion. And the young boy Josh Smith predicted it.
Yeah, you guys can't see it right now, but I got my hands in the air, and I want the applause. I want the gold. Give me the gold.
You can do your victory lap here.
I want the strap. Yo, because here's the thing. I'm not always right when it comes to predicting stuff, but sometimes...
You are very good at getting the big predictions, right?
Sometimes the big predictions that I think make sense, I am good at getting those every now and again.
Like especially the Okada Naito Wrestle Kingdom.
You know, maybe it's just I'm a fool. Maybe I'm just better. Like, maybe I'm just an idiot savant, and I'm taking picks that no one else will take, and it just happens to work out for me, and that's about it.
No, give yourself more credit.
No, but for real, it made sense to me because I was like, well, Naito doesn't want the belt. Jericho, you know, he already lost once this year. It's going to look really bad if he comes back and takes 2 losses at big shows like this.
Yeah. Plus,
like, you can build. If Jericho loses, what are you going to build to for the next match? You know, I mean, Jericho could get himself over again like he did, you know, after Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
But why do that when you can have a money match, you know, right away? And I don't know when he's going to wrestle again. The only thing that made me think maybe he wouldn't, I was like, are they going to put their strap on him? Yep.
Yes, they did.
Yep. And it just hit me. Like, we were sitting there, and I hadn't even really made up my mind about it. But when we were sitting here recording last week, I was like, Jericho's going to win. And it was
yeah.
And it was one of those moments. I said it with such clarity, and I feel so smart for saying that now. Like, oh my God. But how about after the match, he starts attacking Naito again, and then we get Evil.
Which is surprising because, you know, LIJ normally lets Naito get beat on.
Yeah.
But yeah, Evil comes down to make the save, and it looks like they're planting seeds for a Jericho Evil match.
I guess. I don't know. I did think it was funny when Jericho, like, cut a promo afterwards.
On the commentary, he's like,
who are you?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He's like, I forgot what he was like. I just beat Naito, and like, this guy, like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Something like that.
But yeah, so we don't remember the promo, obviously.
Pretty much, it was one of those like rock moments, like, who in the blue hell are you?
Pretty much, yeah. And he didn't know who Evil was, and I was wondering the whole time, like, I understand that he's like the gatekeeper, but I clearly think Sonata, who recently had a title shot, is the better guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, send him. Send Hiromu. Don't send Evil. Because I'm not really that interested in seeing an Evil versus Jericho match, to be honest with you. If anything, I'd rather see Naito and Jericho. Although I've heard rumblings that the whole idea is to get the belt onto Evil to free up Naito.
Gotcha.
I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah.
It could be.
I just think it'd be a cool idea to just have Jericho like run through LIJ to eventually get back to Naito.
Yeah, we talked about that, and I don't disagree with you. It's just that's a lot of commitment. I mean, how many guys are you going to go through? Just
Just
the heavyweights?
Yeah, just Evil and Sonata.
So he's going to wrestle 3 times between now and when?
Between now and Wrestle Kingdom.
You think Jericho's wrestling 3 matches in New Japan?
Dude,
I don't know about all that.
if you would have asked me at the beginning of this year if Jericho would be the Intercontinental Champion, I'd be like, there's no way. So, dude, like I said,
I just didn't want to get worked.
I don't expect it. Dude,
I picked him because I didn't want to get worked again. That's why. I was so tired of getting worked by Chris Jericho, so that's why.
like I said, I don't trust this man. Like, you know, what he says, like, he's not going to wrestle anymore. He's going to wrestle.
I think it's more likely for him to do just 1 or 2 more big matches at most, and that be about it. But I don't know.
Hey, you never know.
What are your thoughts about... So, before we move on, let's talk about Tetsuya Naito. What are your thoughts? 'Cause
last week we stated that Naito has been trash this year.
Okay, and I'm still standing by that.
Yeah.
That turned into a whole thing online, didn't
a little
it?
debate on the New Japan Reddit.
Yeah, but what I meant was it wasn't so much where I was like, he's trash. Obviously, Naito is one of the greatest workers alive today. That's what's bothered me about him this past year. This match was one of the hardest I've seen him work all year. It truly was. And, I loved it. But... I don't know. We don't have to get into all that, I guess. But
right.
I don't. Now I feel like you put me on the spot, and I got to defend my point from last week.
What were you gonna say about Naito?
Well, there are people that are questioning where he stands in the company. I mean, after the way he's been booked this past year, and then after Wrestle Kingdom, and I mean, there are those people, especially fans, who I think probably aren't as familiar with New Japan, or are newer fans where they're like, he's buried, he's done, oh my,
where does he go from here?
Where does he go from here?
He's finished.
Roman. This is Roman Reigns all over again. It's clearly not
it always comes back to the big dog.
So, I mean, what are your thoughts, though, for real? Because, I mean, he is in a precarious situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a good way, like we mentioned, to get more sympathy for Naito. I mean, there was a lot of sympathy for him losing that Wrestle Kingdom match. Mm-hmm. And I think they're just continuing to build that and kind of just getting more and more people to feel sorry for him and get behind him. And it's eventually going to lead...
But do you think that's what's happening? Do you think people are getting behind him, or do you think people are getting their patience tried?
I think for the American Western audience, the patience might be getting tried just because we're used to a different style of booking and we're used to instant gratification. And if a guy loses a big match, they're buried. Mm-hmm. But I think maybe to the Japanese fans, it might be building more sympathy, because we've seen this whole past year, every arena Naito goes into, except for this one, the crowd blows the roof off when he comes out. So they're continuing to make him like a sympathetic babyface, and I think eventually it's going to lead to some big moment, whether that's regaining the Intercontinental title, whether that's winning the G1, or somehow winning the heavyweight title this year. We're going to get a big Naito moment after all these shortcomings and heartbreaks.
So I was actually listening to Observer Live earlier today on my way home from work, and Brian Alvarez touched on this subject, and he said, just to give you a comparison, in a company like WWE, where 50-50 booking is so prevalent, they try to tell you that wins and losses don't matter. But when they do 50-50 booking, it's clear that wins and losses absolutely matter, because they don't want anyone to take losses. They're afraid to hurt anybody ever, because losses matter so much to them.
Right.
Because every loss is so detrimental. It's like a guy's getting buried when he loses, is what they basically tell you. And that's why their top guys never lose. You know what I mean?
Right.
They never lose. Ever, And that's kind of what he was saying. He was like, but... in general, in real sports, you watch hockey, you watch basketball, you watch baseball, football to some lesser degree, but these sports where these guys compete, especially with teams night in, night out, that sort of thing, You know, if you're a Tampa Bay Lightning fan and they go on a run and it's great, but then they lose, that's part of the sport. Guys lose, and that's expected. And it's like he just wasn't the better guy on that night. They weren't the better team on that night. But overall, where's their standing within the company? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And on any given night, anybody can lose. And that's how it actually is in New Japan. And that's why when a guy loses in, say, like the New Japan Cup, like in a tournament, you know, they're not buried. You know, right. You don't hear people crying out and being like, they're done, they're finished. You know, like Okada just lost the belt. I don't think anyone's going to be like, he got buried. Why are they giving up on Okada? The company gave up on him. You know, they've turned their backs on him.
Yeah.
No, it's not like that, you know? And so I think with that, it's important for fans who are listening, and if you're a new listener, this is important for you to probably understand and realize, like, guys lose and it's okay. Now, there is a way where you can get buried. That can still happen, don't get me wrong. But that's not necessarily what this is. I don't know if I agree with Naito's booking this past year. I know I wouldn't have done it this way, and I kind of think earlier in the year I thought by this point we'd see him getting another title shot.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're going with him, but I will say this, the company has enough equity with me that I'm trusting in where they're going to lead his character. Dude, this thing could go in a totally different direction than any of us are even expecting. How many times over the years has New Japan done that? You think they're going to do one thing with the guy and then and everything changes, you know what I mean? And like that stuff happens. And so we don't know what Gato has in mind. We don't know what kind of character developments, but I would also say, like, yes, I had criticism last week about Naito, but it is more about performance.
Right.
It was more about motivation and lack of it. It wasn't so much about star power, star potential, drawing power. Nothing like his stance in the company. Nothing like that. It's just that I know he's one of the best.
Yeah.
That's really what comes out. I know he's one of the best, and I haven't seen it this year, and it's frustrating because there's other times where he's had bad booking and he's been the best. And that's what I want out of him. But with that being said, like, I just felt like that was something important to touch on here. I don't know where the story's going.
Yeah, I mean, nobody knows where it's going. I mean, I just from what I've seen, I think it's leading to some kind of big Naito moment at the end of the year.
Do you think we continue with Jericho and Naito?
I mean, I think it's possible, like I said, like maybe they do like Jericho against Evil or not, or maybe just one of them.
There's only one other guy I could really see. Well, there's like two guys I could see Jericho potentially working with by that. Maybe I'm like, that would make a lot of sense and be a big deal.
Okada and Tanahashi.
Exactly. Yeah. I think those are the guys he wants to work with too.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, like if I was Chris Jericho and I came to New Japan, maybe Suzuki.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Dude, the brawl that they would have.
Crazy Chris Jericho.
Crazy old man Suzuki against crazy old man Jericho.
Yeah. Oh my god, that would be so awesome. So yeah, I mean, those are the guys that I think he would want to work with this year. But I am wondering, like, here's the thing. Another thing too is people are like, you know, there are fans out there right now on the internet who are like, Naito's done, Naito's over. The G-1 is around the corner. Do you not think that this guy is going to have one of the best tournaments of the entire tournament?
He's a potential candidate.
He might win the whole freaking thing.
Yeah.
So that's when I'm like, guys, just calm down. Just
tranquilo.
Be tranquilo, okay? Because it's not over. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to heat this dude up, and he's going to be fine. They probably shouldn't have put the belt on him to begin with.
Yeah.
That was probably like a detrimental thing. That's like one of the worst things they did this year to him. As weird as that sounds. Because he didn't need it. But I rest my case.
All right.
5 stars.
You giving Jericho Naito 5 stars?
Jericho Naito. 5 snowflakes, baby. You know what's funny is like Ricky and Clive think I came up with snowflakes.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
They think that's like my thing that I made up.
I heard that last week.
Like they keep saying it, and I'm like, you guys ever been on the internet? I love you guys.
Shout out to Ricky and
Shout
Clive.
out to Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show
here on the network. But all right, now it's time to talk about the main event, the greatest match in wrestling history. 2 out of 3 falls.
I was gonna say that.
No time
You said it
limit.
before me.
The champion,
Damn it.
Kazuchika Okada, against the best bout machine, Kenny Omega.
It's the best match I ever saw in my entire life.
Mind-melting match. Amazing.
Yeah.
Incredible. Phenomenal.
It's the best wrestling match that I have ever seen in my entire life.
Dude, this was so excellent. Like, I know that a lot of people were worried about the 2 out of 3 falls and no time limit, like possibly like going too long and just...
Oh yeah, I voiced those sentiments last week. If you remember, I said, that's a and you know what? That's a tough gimmick to get over. You know what's crazy? So I was at work today, and the guy sits next to me. He's an old school wrestling fan, and I showed him a picture of Jericho with the gold, and he's like, "Jericho won the title." He's like, "That's the IW." Like he kind of knows a little. He's like, "That he won the IWGP title." I was like, "No, it's the IC belt." And then he's like, "Oh, is that Kenny Omega next to him? He won the belt." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "He beat Okada. He doesn't know who Okada is." And I was like, "Yeah, it's the best match I ever saw in my life." He's like, "Really?" And I was like, 72 minutes. And he was like, "What?" He's like, "They went over an hour?" And I was like, "Yeah, bro." He's like, "That must have been really slow." And I said,
like, no.
And I said,
quite opposite, my friend.
said, "No, bro. No. Like, it wasn't slow at all. It's like the fastest over 1 hour match I've ever seen." I could not believe the pace that these... I mean, I guess I should believe it, but like, because they're the 2 best wrestlers alive today, maybe of all time. Like, they're in that conversation now. And just magic, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Just magic.
Kenny was in phenomenal shape, the best shape I've seen him in quite some time.
Bro, it's the 4th time they've ever wrestled. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, a lot of guys in the wrestling business, when they are, doing their thing and they have like a big money pay-per-view match, they've been on house shows together. They've done practice matches over and over and over again. They've been touring. You know what I mean?
Right.
They've wrestled each other countless times and perfected their match before you see it on the big match. These guys might have had some multi-man matches a couple times, but
rarely.
Really rare. Yeah, like I think like 2 or 3 times they've had multi-man matches. They've had 4 singles matches. All 4 singles matches are amongst the greatest matches of all time. That just shows you how incredible the chemistry, the artistry of these 2 performers are, that they are on a different level when it comes to wrestling.
Yeah.
And this is one of the greatest in-ring stories I have ever seen from start to finish.
Well, I mean, there's just so much backstory. I mean, this thing, goes back
years and years and years and years.
And like this has just been Omega's like scratch and claw to get to the heavyweight title, and then all their matches, all the stories in each of their matches, kind of played out throughout this match.
Yeah, I mean, like literally, like you take Okada's like coming back to New Japan and his whole entire feud with Tanahashi and the Bullet Club and becoming the ace and establishing himself and then having to overcome Naito and all these different until he becomes Okada, the ace. And then Kenny on the flip side being this independent guy from Canada and DDT and the Golden Lovers and being in Kota Ibushi's shadow and breaking out, becoming a Bullet Club member and, kicking AJ Styles out, becoming the cleaner, the best bout machine and all the struggles and making the transition from junior to heavy and winning the G1, the first foreigner to ever do it. And then these guys meet. And it's about the battle for the future of the company. Who's going to carry the brand into, to the rest of the world? Is it going, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's what this has been all about all this time. And then, over the last couple of years, with Okada having one of, if not the greatest heavyweight title run in modern times, maybe one of the best of all time, when you factor in certain things like quality of opposition, quality of matches, type of matches, story progression, like, not, you know what I mean? And then you take Kenny and his performances and his heartbreak from, and then, the Bullet Club fracture and reuniting with Kota Ibushi and all that build.
Yeah, I mean, all that played into it. And we saw, like, the opening video there of, like, for Omega's entrance. Omega and Ibushi. Ibushi came down like his guardian angel and, like, asking him if he's prepared, and like pulled out the Avengers line, like, what did it cost?
Yes.
Like everything. And we saw like the Thanos like effect on the Bullet Club logo.
Mr. Omega, I don't feel so good. Oh man, that was emotional, dude.
Yeah, it was.
And then he came out with the new gear. Oh man, and Kenny, like you said, Kenny was shredded.
I don't know if he's doing keto also, but
he's doing something. He's got a needle or I'm just playing. Nah, he's straight edge. He would never do that, but that I know of. But Kenny just put in the work, put in the time and effort, and that guy was just on a different level. Now, I will say this. Kenny never wrestled Okada with those freaking pants. You want to wonder why the outcome of the match was the way it was?
The pants.
Those pants cost New Japan their ace. They cost Okada, they cost you your future. I've been telling you, bro. I've been telling you since the beginning of the year. Get rid of those pants. When he had the shorts, he was undefeated as champion. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, man.
You never lost to Kenny Omega before you had the pants on, bro. That's all I'm saying. Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
I'm right.
Thanks, Mama Kazu. But, dude, this first fall... Okada gets the first fall catches Omega with like a roll up.
Bro, they wrestled like when was that? 32 minutes.
The first fall as at 28 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah, bro, they went almost 30 minutes for the first fall.
But dude, once Okada won the first fall, I was a little worried. I was like. Oh my god, they're gonna have Okada like sweep this man and like continue running the title.
The thing is, I kind of thought that Kenny was going to lose the first fall because during the press conference he kept emphasizing how important it was to get the first fall, and I was like, oh, he's dropping the first fall.
Yeah, and then also too, like Cal's on commentary mentioned like. That was part of like him and Ibushi's game plan. It was like take it to Omega in the first fall, like get that first fall.
Yeah.
And like Don Callis had like a great call after like Omega loses this fall. He's just like Omega has to beat Okada twice. Not once, but twice in the same night.
We haven't even really focused too much about Don Callis and Kevin Kelly, but I just want to say that this is the best match calling that they've done since I've heard them together. The whole show. But this match in particular was exemplary. It was just phenomenal how good they were on the stick. Like they were so good.
Yeah, and what do you think about the rest periods in between falls?
I think it's necessary. Most old school wrestling promotions always have done rest periods. In fact, most wrestling promotions used to do longer rest periods. They were only like 2 minutes, right?
Yeah.
That's nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it too.
I like it. It makes more sense.
For newer fans, they might not be used to that for 2 out of 3s. Like,
yeah, like in WWE, like you get the guy gets pinned, and then like 20 seconds later, they ring the bell, and I'm like, what are you doing? This dude got beat. He's got to collect himself. Give him a moment.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you go into the second fall. Omega continues to just bring the pace and take everything he has to Okada. And again, like I don't want to go through every single move they did, but just a lot of great back and forth action here.
It's a lot of the stuff that they've done in matches past. Like that's the thing. Like they built upon the matches that they've done before, and they. Had a lot of callbacks.
Dude, a lot of callbacks, a lot of innovative counters.
But at the same time, it's not like it ever felt like just a greatest hits,
Oh, no.
Nothing like that. Like, they were telling a totally brand new story. And this match was... I'll give my analogy at the end, actually. Okay. Because I've already got it work. Like, I have it in my mind.
So at 50 minutes and 10 seconds, Kenny picks up the second... his first fall, but the second fall of the match. V-Trigger One Wing Angel, and they did a great job of selling how powerful the One Wing Angel is, with Okada like barely getting up during the 2-minute break. Like he wasn't up, and like,
dude. So if you fans remember the very first match, the brilliance of the first match, and the major story that came out of that was how Kenny never hit the One Winged Angel in the first match, and the whole idea was, if he hits the One Winged Angel, it's over. He just never was able to get Okada in the One Winged Angel. That was the main thing. So that whole... And then in the second match, when he finally did hit it...
Okada got the rope break.
So he caught Kenny slipping. So, like, they've been building to this for all this time. And then he finally caught him in the G1. He finally got him with the One Winged Angel. And he established that, yes... if I hit you with this thing, you're done.
Yeah, One Winged Angel's like the most protected finisher right now in wrestling.
Yeah, I actually didn't know this, but I was listening to another podcast. They said that the only person that's ever kicked out of it ever is Kota Ibushi.
Yeah, and that was like back in DDT.
But once they said, actually, you know what? I did know that because I've seen the Peter Pan match, that's the name of the event that they wrestled at. But when they're in Budokan, and yeah, I actually forgot that he did kick out of that. But at the time, it didn't seem as big of a deal to me.
Right.
But nobody in New Japan's ever kicked out of it. And so, yeah, you're right. Okada sold it like he just stayed there. Now, was the second fall the fall where they were teasing the Ibushi with the towel?
No, I think that was
the third fall.
Yeah, at one point he like jumped up.
So yeah, that was another piece of storytelling that well, let's go to the beginning of the third fall.
So yeah, the rest period is over. Red Shoes makes Ibushi and Geto leave the ring, and Okada immediately hits a V-trigger and goes for the One Wing Angel for a quick win, but Okada's able to slip down and hits the Rainmaker, which both of them go down, and they kind of like reset the match from there.
Yeah, so like that was like excellent because they made it seem like Omega was just going for the kill as soon as the 2-minute period was over, and like they're like imploring like Okada to get up, and he cannot get up.
Yeah,
and Omega's going like Omega smells blood. He's going for the finish right then and there, and it felt like he was about to like end it.
Yeah.
I was like, man, what a blow off to a match. Like, is this going to be it? And then he catches him with Rainmaker out of nowhere. Just, getting emotional thinking about it. Oh, man, I was so emotional during this match. Like, there are very few matches where I get emotional, and there were several on this night. That's why I think this night was so great. So many matches got me emotional, but like this match started pulling on my heartstrings. It had that Ric Flair Vader like flavor. Like I say it all the time. That's the match when I don't know why, but I watch it and I get more emotional watching Ric Flair Vader than I do Ric Flair and Shawn. I don't know why, but this match had that feel for me. Like, man, like I was like, I want Omega to win so bad, but I did not want Okada to drop this belt.
Bro, I wanted him. I was ready for Kenny Omega to get this thing. And, it's what you're talking about with Ibushi teasing. It really wasn't really like he was going to throw on the white towel. He went up there to tell him to
no. So I actually checked into this. So we weren't really sure what was going on, but he the reason he showed up with the towel was because he was checking on him to see if he needed to throw in the towel.
Right.
And then Kenny told him that he was okay.
And then Ibushi told him to hit the Phoenix Splash.
Yeah, and then Ibushi trusted him, which that's a callback to last year because last year in Dominion, if you remember, obviously we all remember, it's the famous spot where, Cody shows up with the white towel and he's trying to throw. You have this guy who's a contemporary, who's part of the same team as you, who's somewhat of a professional rival, There's some jealousy there. He wants the same thing that you have, and he has the opportunity to throw in the towel, and he's trying to do it. And Kenny's like, no, I'm fine. And Cody's like, no, I have to.
Yeah.
To protect you.
Yeah.
To protect you, Daniel Bryan. It might be like all those fans who didn't want Daniel Bryan to come back. To protect you.
Yeah.
Same thing. But that's why like this spot, that moment with Kota Ibushi is like so incredible, because there's a lot of parallels. Now it's not Cody, it's Kota. You know, a guy who he screwed over in the past, a guy who could have taken the match into his own hands.
Yeah.
And decided the finish and said, no, you don't know what's best. But instead, their mutual respect and their trust and, you know, their relationship and all that. And he tells him, he's like, I'm good. And he has enough wherewithal. Okay, then go up there and hit the Phoenix Splash.
Yeah.
And that moment, I was like, man, this is freaking storytelling.
Yeah, dude, amazing. And dude, the crowd was behind Kenny the whole match.
The crowd
dude,
was so
you
far
have like a few people start going, Okada, and then just Kenny, like drowned them out.
Yeah, the Kenny supporters were Okada had supporters, but the Kenny supporters were just killing them.
Yeah. And so yeah, a lot of back and forth going on towards the end of the match, and it all came down to Omega hitting a V-trigger, which it looked like he jumped through the freaking TV screen.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was the sickest V-trigger of the match. And One Wing Angel, and we have a new IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
Yep. Another moment that really stuck out to me was when Kenny started hitting Okada, and Okada was no-selling it, and it was like Kenny has nothing on his, and it was just like Dominion last year.
Yeah.
It's like he has nothing left, but then all of a sudden, like, it was all bravado because he hit him one more time. Like, instead of folding like he did last year, he hit him one more time, and you see a little bit of a crinkle. Hits him again, another little bit of a crinkle. And then the next thing you know, like, Okada's selling. And I'm like, oh my God, this is freaking incredible.
Yeah, and then also great with Okada trying to hit
the One-Winged Angel.
The Rainmaker.
The Rainmaker.
And he collapsed based off the match where Omega collapsed, and Okada missed the Rainmaker because of that.
Yeah, just the storytelling was at such a high level here, and then he finally beat him. And now there was one thing that I had predicted was, I didn't say this on the show, but I was telling Jeremy, I thought Okada was going to kick out of a One-Winged Angel at the end of the match.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
And I guess I'm glad he didn't, but I really did think he was.
Yeah, and they did a great job. I think it was great that they used the One-Winged Angel for the second fall, because then that put that doubt in your mind, like, all right, he hit it once, like, is he really going to hit it again to beat Okada? He hit it again
and he beat him, man.
Yeah.
And then so one of the things with this match, did you see what Dave Meltzer said about this?
That it was the greatest match he's ever seen.
Yeah, essentially. Like, I'll pull up the...
Yeah, I don't remember the exact quote. I listened to it this morning.
Oh, you listened to that today?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pull up the quote. Bear with me.
I don't remember exactly what he said, but I know it was to the extent, like, yeah, this is the greatest match that he's ever seen, and that it definitely broke the scale. Yeah,
we don't even know what he's going to rate this. Like, what do you think he is going to rate it?
Dude, like, at this point, I'm expecting him to say, like, infinite stars. Like, there are not enough stars for me to rate this match.
So this is what Dave Meltzer said on One Nation... when he came on One Nation Radio. No, on Wrestling Observer Radio. He said, I'm convinced of this. I believe that I saw the two greatest wrestlers in the world today. Both had the greatest performance on the same night, in the same match, which climaxed a 2-year story and ended the greatest championship reign in decades all at the same time.
Yeah, I mean,
that's...
I have to agree with him.
I definitely agree with him, man. I don't know how you couldn't agree with him unless you just don't know, you know?
Yeah, you're not woke.
Yeah, unless, like, you're someone who's just turning it on and you're hearing the hype and you're like, how good is this match? And you say, you're like, it's okay. Like, no, man. Like, that match is incredible.
Yeah.
So one thing about it, we'll get to the post-match, but I want to reflect on this match a little bit more. So... one reason why this match stuck out to me, aside from just everything else we talked about, well, the work rate.
Yeah.
The work rate is so high. There's so few breaks, and when they do take breaks, it means something. But at the same time, the work, not only is the work rate high, but the work is so smart. Like, they're not just doing stuff to fill time. You know what I mean?
Everything meant something.
Everything means something. And you would think with 2 out of 3 falls that things would mean less. Like, you would... But they accomplished what you wouldn't necessarily... an Ironman match is almost an easier gimmick to work. You know what I mean? Because, yes, you have to fill the whole 1 hour, but you can do multiple falls and have everything keep going and build drama that way. 2 out of 3 falls, it's like there's only a few ways it can go. And once the first guy loses, you pretty much know what's going to happen from thereafter until the final fall. So, I mean, you kind of... You know what I mean? That didn't matter. They were able to still keep the drama, keep the tension going the whole time while calling back to all their old matches. But and then the storytelling, of course, and the drama and just everything. But one thing about it was, here's the way I saw it. So I remember when the first match came out and people were like criticizing it because they were like, it was too long. Mm-hmm. A lot of people were like, and it took too long in the beginning to gear up and get to the point where the exciting stuff happened, basically, is what they said.
You're right.
Not saying that that's an apt analysis, but that's what people were saying. Never mind the fact that they had to follow Naito and Tanahashi.
Right.
But still, that was a complaint that people had. The second match, where at Dominion last year, my biggest gripe, this is my complaint, was that they spent so long working over Okada's leg when it literally added nothing to the match. It had no meaning, and it did feel like they were just filling up time to fill up time. And then I guess you could have some other one other complaint. I guess one thing I thought, it's not really a complaint. One thing I just didn't think booking wise made sense was having Okada be the guy crawling over to beat Kenny.
Right.
When you're trying to build doubt to the idea of
Kenny could have won.
Right. I didn't like that aspect of it. I have always thought that was a little bit of a negative drawback. But other than that, that match was incredible. And then the third match was like the sprint that they had at the G1. And people criticize that. They're like, oh, they relied to, it's nothing but dragon suplexes and V-triggers and drop kicks and Saito suplexes and rainmakers. And, people were just like, oh, and reverse Ranas. Like, it's nothing but that. And they thought that they worked too much. Like, they did too much, too fast, that it didn't mean as much, which that might be a valid argument to some degree, even though that match just rules. Where this match succeeded is that it took the best elements story-wise and action-wise from all 3 of those matches and combined it into this masterpiece while avoiding the pitfalls, the minor pitfalls where these 6-star matches that preceded it
right
happened to have little nitpicky things here and there. They got rid of it, So the whole, it took too long for it to build up, gone. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, they kept a perfect pace to where, they didn't blow themselves up, but they didn't, they weren't working a hold for 20 minutes or anything like that, or a body part that didn't play into the story of the match. They didn't do that. They didn't do, they didn't have, nonsensical story builds. Like, everything that they did
made sense.
It all made sense. And then even when they were doing the crazy action, it was put in the right place. Like the placement was perfect. I can't imagine that someone could sit there and watch this match for how long it was and then say that they were bored, say they didn't get it, or you don't get wrestling at that point because this is a masterpiece. That's my take on it. That's why, to me, I would. Hopefully we see something that's as good as this, but you have to factor in the build. How are you going to find a match that with guys that
have this backstory, guys that are in this shape, this much ring psychology, top physical shape, there's just,
how are you going to find a build like this ever again?
How can who knows? Maybe
it's gonna take years.
Suji and Umura in 10 years.
Maybe.
Or Oka and Umeno or something 10 years from now.
Maybe, I don't know. But this was just It was so excellent, man. It's the best match I've ever seen in my whole life.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're listening to this podcast, you've probably watched this match, but I mean, I highly recommend that you watch it again. Tell your friends that are disappointed with other wrestling products to watch this Dominion show.
It's gonna be so hard for anything for me, not just New Japan, but anywhere in the world to compete with this.
Yeah,
this is like, for me, it's like, and I mean, this might sound like it's too early to say stuff like this, but like, it's 2018. I don't think anything else in this whole decade. This is match of the decade, man.
Dude, that's what
I'm saying. Like,
this is the pinnacle.
It's the pinnacle
of professional wrestling.
What did they used to say in WWE? What did they used to say when the logo would pop up?
What, Then Now Forever?
No, I'm sorry, I screwed it up. Roman Reigns used to call himself this because it was like a callback. The premiere of sports entertainment or something like that. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I can't remember what it is.
I'm not sure. Yeah,
freaking A, I ruined this award-winning podcast. No, but man, now I feel, after reviewing the match, the same way I felt afterwards. Like, what's left?
We got news.
Well, let's talk about the post-match. So, okay. Take your victory lap, Jeremy.
Yes, so on this very show last week, I said that this Dominion show was going to end with the Young Bucks coming out as the heavyweight tag team champions, celebrating with Kenny Omega as the heavyweight champion. There would be a reunion, and I said that there would be some seeds planted of Ibushi kind of being jealous. Now, it didn't go down exactly like I pictured, with like Ibushi like kind of looking in the background, but Ibushi was staring at the IWGP title when they were all walking up the ramp.
I noticed that too. He's staring at the belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, I just pictured that moment, like the Elite holding those 3 belts and just being back together.
I agree.
And the Golden Elite T-shirt, we found out that was in the box.
Well, not only that, but while they were celebrating, the confetti's coming down, and they're about to hand the belt to Kenny.
He pushes the belt away so he could hug the Young Bucks. And it was a call back almost to him pushing them away when he was arguing with Cody.
Oh, Jeremy, I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
That's awesome, bro. Yeah, you're right.
He pushes the belt away to show.
There's so many little things.
Yeah, because obviously then he pushed him away because fighting Cody was more important. But now he pushes the belt away because their friendship is more important than the belt.
And so they like reconcile. They're all heavyweight champions. You got Kota Ibushi there. Kenny cuts an incredible promo, and then suddenly, like, Cody comes out.
Right.
And you don't really know what his intention is. Like, you don't... Like, you're like, is he coming out here to challenge? Is he coming out here to congratulate him? Is he coming out here to
start smoke?
Yeah. What's the deal? And then he turns around and he goes back. And so you're like, wow, that... Very interesting. And then... and then Kenny basically cuts a promo, leaves, and then, like you said, they're on their way out. Kota Ibushi was staring at the IWGP title. They go to the back. They go to the post-fight press conference, and Kenny just cuts an incredible promo. Very reminiscent of the promo that he cut last year after the G1 special in the USA when he won the US States title. A lot like that. Like, Kenny can be very good on the mic.
Oh, yeah, he is. That pretty much wraps up Dominion.
Well, like, let's talk about some of the stuff that he talked about. He talked about, like, this is the Golden Elite.
Yeah, he said that, this is the Golden Elite, but it's different from the Elite is one thing, the Golden Elite's one thing, and the Bullet Club's another thing, but we're still, like, I'm still a leader of the Bullet Club, like, the Young Bucks are still in the Bullet Club, like, Koda's not in the Bullet Club.
Yeah, apparently.
But the Golden Elite, like, we're the Golden Elite, but just me and the Young Bucks are the Elite, so.
They unleashed the new shirt, the Golden Elite shirt, basically that they're there to change the world. He gave all the credit in the world to Okada and talked about having to follow in his footsteps, and then discussed, like, that, he's going to be able to do what Okada wouldn't be able to do, and that's bring this thing to the world. and that, you know, why didn't he go the easy route? Why didn't he take the payday? Why didn't he
be tranquilo?
Yeah, he said that, and I was like,
which seeds are planted for Omega versus Naito there.
Yep. And he mentioned, you know, that's not really my way. This is my way, and he talked about, you know, that they're there to change the world, and you know, this is a title that Kenny didn't ever think he was gonna be able to win. Dude, I will say this. I will happily say this. Earlier in the year, I said I didn't think Kenny was getting a title shot. I didn't think he was ever gonna get another title shot or touch this belt. I literally said that because, and it's not that I thought he wasn't championship material. I just thought that wasn't the way they were going. And clearly I was wrong. Like, he's the guy.
Yeah.
I don't know how long this title reign is going to be, but he's the guy.
And something like I mentioned at the beginning of this review, that this show started off with Harold Mine. It was kind of like the theme of this show. At the end of Dominion, there are only 2 Japanese champions left.
Very interesting.
Takahashi and Suzuki-gun, or the junior tag titles.
Well, I think we know why. Because, and there's been criticism from New Japan haters, like, oh, they loaded up all this new North American talent because they're coming to North America and that's so cheap. And it's like, so?
Dude, why do people hate business tactics? Like, they're trying to draw. Like, they're trying to fill up a 10,000 arena. Like, why wouldn't you do
Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you do a smart thing? Because they're used to a company that does stupid stuff.
Right.
They're like, oh, so they're just going to put their title on the Gaijin. It's like, yeah, so?
Like, why not?
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
They're coming to America. Yeah. Jeremy's getting pissed. It's like, you think Hiroki Goto's gonna put butts in the seats? How many people you've seen walking around town wearing Goto t-shirts? I mean, I know no one's sporting Big Mike shirts, but I mean, I think we're more likely to see people in California show up to see, you know, Big Mike than Goto.
Right.
Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I feel like.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think all these title reigns are going to be long-term title reigns. I don't think we're in the... Bro, this is just like, you know, a couple months ago when people were like, Chaos has all the belts. And I was like, yeah. And like a month ago, Bullet Club had all the belts. Now they got no belts. And it's going to change, you know, in a few weeks. Like, that's just how it's cyclical.
Yeah, wow.
Get used to it.
Yeah.
You know? But I don't know. That's funny. So, Dominion. So, final thoughts on Dominion.
Incredible, phenomenal, amazing, fantastic, terrific show from top to bottom that featured the greatest match in professional wrestling history. If you haven't seen it yet, I don't know why you're listening to this podcast. Like, pause this, go watch it, and come back and finish the show. Share this with your friend. I mean, I shared the main event with my brother, who doesn't really watch wrestling that much, and he freaking loved it. Like, do somebody a favor, like, show them this match and this show.
You know, I was talking to Chris Things from Grown Men Watch This. And, you know, we were talking, and he was like, what did you think? And I told him that I thought it was the best show I've ever seen in my life. And he was like, well, you know, the All Japan 90s shows, you know, the big Noah shows from the early 2000s, like 03, 05. And I was like, yeah, but Chris... I didn't watch those shows. You know, I was kind of young. I wasn't like, I know I've seen a lot of wrestling, but like, I've seen matches from those shows. I've seen the main events and stuff, but I've never sat down like top to bottom and watched like a 1992 All Japan like card. Like, yeah. You know, so for me, I mean, bro, this is the best. This is better than every NXT show I've ever seen. This is better than every Jim Crockett show I've ever seen.
Better than any WrestleMania.
Better than all the WrestleManias I've seen, including 17 and 19. And, like, what was the one?
30.
31?
30 and 31.
I thought 31 was excellent.
Yeah, 31 was really good.
Better than that. I thought it was better than... This is the best New Japan show I've seen. I thought it was better than every Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
I literally did. I mean, it might not have had the same feel of importance when you got, like, you know, the New Japan Rumble and all that, which I love.
Yeah.
But top to bottom, this is the best wrestling show I've ever seen. And that is huge, huge. I'm like, is this going to win show of the year? I think it should.
Yeah, I mean, I don't...
But, you know, the people still vote for Wrestle Kingdom, so I don't know.
We'll see. You know, we're halfway through the year. We got 6 more months left. We'll We're looking forward to our second year in awards, and we're going to be dropping some new categories. But yeah, I mean, Dominion's definitely going to be at the top on the ballot for that show of the year. All right, so now let's wrap the show up with some news items. A lot of matches were announced for several different shows.
You want to start with Kizuna Road, or what's coming next? Kizuna?
Yeah, Kizuna Road is coming up next. So yeah, the full lineups for Kizuna Road have been revealed. We've got 2 big matches, and there will be G1 announcements. So the G1 Climax 28 tournament announcements will be strung across all 3 shows. June 17th, they will announce the participants. On June 18th, we will have the block announcements. And the last show, which is June 19th, they will announce the main events for each show. So here is the rundown of the cards for Kizuna Road. So on June 17th, the main event will be Michael Elgin defending the never openweight title against Hiroki Goto. There will be Tanahashi, Juice, and David Finlay against Okada, Jay White, and Ishii. Naito, Evil, Sonata, Bushi, and Takahashi against Iizuka, Taichi, Kanemaru, Desperado, and Taka. Togi Makabe, Jeff Cobb, Toa Hanare, Kushida, and Taguchi against Yano, Yoshihashi, Rocky Romero, and Roppongi 3K. Tenzan and Narita against Ishimori and Takahashi. Nagata and Nakanishi against Oka and Umino, and Tsuji and Nomura. Then on night 2, June 18th, Takahashi will defend the IWGP Junior title against El Desperado. Then we got Tanahashi, Elgin, Juice, Cobb, and Kushida against Okada, Goto, Jay White, Ishii, and Geto. Naito, Evil, Sonata, and Bushi against Iizuka, Taichi, Kanemaru, and Taka. Taguchi, Toa, David Finlay, and Togi Makabe against Toru Yano, Yoshihashi, and Roppongi 3K. Tenzan and Oka against Nagata and Nakanishi. Ishimori and Takahashi against Narita and Umino. And Tsuji against Umura again. And then the final night of the Kizuna Road Tour, June 19th. This is going to be the tribute show to... or the retirement ceremony for Super Strong Machine, who hasn't wrestled since 2014. He won't be wrestling on the card, but the main event will feature several Strong Machines. Strong Machine number 69, Strong Machine Ace, Strong Machine Justice, Strong Machine Dawn, and Strong Machine Buffalo. And they'll be taking on LIJ in the main event 10-man tag. Then also on that show, there's Elgin, Cobb, Juice, and Finlay against Okada, Goto, Jay White, and Yoshihashi. Ishii and Yano against Iizuka and Taichi. Rocky and Roppongi 3K against Kanemaru, Desperado, and Taka. Makabe, Liger, Tiger Mask against Toa, Oka, and Umino. And Kushida and Narita against Ishimori and Yujiro.
Isn't there a show on the 23rd as well? Because that's when Hanma is making his return. I know that they're doing the 3 nights back to back, 17th, 18th, and 19th, but I think they're running other shows for Kizuna Road.
Yeah, but I don't think those cards have been
announced yet.
Let
me see here. So I do know. I'm not sure who is going to be part of the Machine Gundam, the Super Strong Machine Army, which I'm actually looking really forward to that, because I think that that's going to be like super, just really funny. But I mean, have you ever seen like the machines?
Not really.
So I mean, like, it's kind of like, it's sort of like back in the day when like Choshu had his army. It was called Seki, or there's Seki Gunnin, and then
right, because Gun means army.
Yep, and then he had the Ishin Gun, which was Choshu's army, and then there's been other iterations of it over the past. But there's been like tag teams with, Super Strong Machine, like Giant Machine, which was like Andre, and like other guys that have like worn, they all just wear the mask, and then there's nothing else. Like their identities are not really all that hidden, kind of like Mr. America. Like you know who it is,
right?
But they're wearing like machine masks basically,
right.
And I'm pretty sure Taguchi's going to be one of the guys because during one of the backstage promos,
he's going to be Machine 69.
Yep. He said that he was calling in the. He said that Super Strong Machine didn't have to worry because he was calling in the Machine Gundam. So I don't know who is going to be under, but yeah, it's gonna be funny.
And I just checked the New Japan website, so there are 4 other Kizuna Road shows, but they're not going to be on New Japan World as of right now.
The 23rd has to be. Hanma's returning.
Well, on the New Japan World schedule, they do not have anything past the 19th.
Oh my God! If they don't air Hanma's return match live,
but there are the 20th, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th are all Kizuna Road shows as well. But they are not. They don't seem to be.
It's weird that they've got the Kizuna Road shows like so spread out this year. I don't know why they don't just do Road 2 shows and then the actual show, but that's fine. Yep. The other news is that Hanma is returning on June 23rd. He will be teaming up in a multi-man match with members of Taguchi Japan as well as Makabe to take on IJ. So it's going to be a 10 tag. So look forward to that. I'm sure. I mean, I would be. They might not air the whole thing, but there's no way they're not going to air Hanma's return.
Yeah, that'd be kind of weird.
There's no way. And then. So we got the news on Kizuna Road. It looks like there's been some big matches announced for G1 Special in USA.
Yeah, so they announced 4 matches for the G1 Special in the USA. There's going to be a special tag match with Kazuchika Okada teaming up with Will Ospreay to take on Tetsuya Naito and Bushi. There's going to be the IWGP US Heavyweight Championship match with Jay White defending against Juice Robinson. And there's going to be the main event of the show, Kenny Omega in his first IWGP Heavyweight Championship defense against the American Nightmare Cody, the man who beat him at Supercard of Honor. So 4 matches so far.
What do you think?
I think it's very interesting so far. I'm expecting Juice to get the U.S. title. I'm not sure what they're trying to set up with the Okada and Naito tag match there. Expecting Omega to beat Cody. I'm a little bit worried about the tag match. I feel like they might.
You're just worried because your boys are going to lose the belts back?
Yeah. I'm afraid of them, doing a flip-flop.
I'm not impressed with this card. Not even a little bit. And I'll tell you why. They need, like we've talked about it before, for them to sell this show out, they need to bring it. Now, hey, if they sell it out just based off of Kenny Omega's got the belt and people are willing to come pay to see Kenny Omega defend the IWGP title, which I don't think that's ever, well, yeah, Okada defended it last year, but still, all the power in the world to them. But I mean, we got this match. They already gave it away at Supercard of Honor. So it's a rematch of a match that, while it was important while it happened, it kind of just seemed like we breezed past it and moved on, And nothing on the undercard really screams to me Supercard. We just got this tag match. White Robinson, while it is a good match, it screams Road 2 show to me. You know what I'm saying? And then Okada and Ospreay against
Naito and Bushi.
It's like, okay, it's fine. But I mean, we've seen that. We basically seen that match a bunch of times this year. I mean, if I was in the California area, yeah, I'd probably go see it. But it's not like if I was a Fairweather fan, I would drop big money to go see this.
Right.
So this worries me. And it does make me feel like, are they really going to sell 10,000 tickets on the back of Cody Kenny again?
They might. Also, don't forget, Young Bucks are from California, and they're coming in as IWGP champions. Also, they might be walking into this match as a Ring of Honor tag champs, because at Best in the World, June 29th, they're facing the Briscoes. I'm just like, I know I've been one of the people that have said in the past, let's hold off, let's wait. But I just thought, if New Japan was smart, they'd book a show. They're not. This doesn't scream Super Show to me at all. Yeah.
It really doesn't. So that's my concern. That's my biggest concern. So yeah, hopefully they do it. But I mean, dude, they struggled to sell 6,000 tickets WrestleMania weekend, on a weekend when there's more wrestling fans concentrated in one place in the whole world. So I'm like, you think 10,000 people are going out to California to watch this? I don't know, man.
Yeah. Well, hey, there's only 4 matches. I'm expecting a Mysterio match announcement.
I don't know if there's anything else they can do. They got Knight in a match, Okada in a match, and Kenny Omega.
They can do Mysterio Skrull. They can do...
That's not going to draw 10,000. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I don't think this drawing 10,000.
Yeah.
I really don't. I'm like, unless I'm underestimating Kenny Omega and the Bucks, I don't think this is drawing 10,000 as it is. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I feel like they made a bad decision.
Yeah, hopefully the Observer will have an update on ticket sales this week.
We'll keep you guys posted. So, and then we got breaking news today about the Strong Style Evolved shows from the United Kingdom, and this screams Super Show to me. This is what I would pay to go see, these cards. These cards look freaking awesome.
And actually, both of these shows are before the G1 special in USA.
Oh, man, they look awesome. Take us through it.
Yeah, so this is a Strong Style Evolved UK. So night 1 is June 30th. The main event is going to be the British Tag Champs Minoru Suzuki and Zack Sabre Jr. defending against Okada and Ishii. You got one-on-one Ospreay and Kanemaru. And there's Chris Brooks versus Yoshihashi. Walter against Yuji Nagata.
Woo!
Yeah, that's going to be tight.
Oh, my God.
Tiger Mask 4 against David Starr.
That'll be good.
Iizuka, Taichi, and Desperado against Jay White, Yano, and Geto. Taiji Ishimori and Yujiro Takahashi against Aussie Open, Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher.
They're good.
Yeah, we saw them WrestleMania weekend. And then Shota Umino will wrestle a wrestler that has yet to be announced.
Wonder what that means.
Vacant. Night 2 is July 1st. The main event, the undisputed British heavyweight champion Tomohiro Ishii will defend against Minoru Suzuki.
Death. If he dies, he dies. Oh my God, that match is going to be incredible.
Then there's going to be Okada against Zack Sabre Jr.
What?
One-on-one.
We get a rematch?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Will Ospreay versus Taichi. Jay White versus Chris Brooks.
That'll be good.
Walter versus Yujiro Takahashi.
What? Wait, are you serious? That's a match?
Yes, Walter versus Yujiro Takahashi. The Tokyo Pimp is going to have his chest caved in.
Oh my God. Who did he piss off?
Then there's going to be Iizuka, Kanemaru, and Desperado against Yano, Yoshihashi, and Geto.
Oh, that sounds terrible. That literally sounds awful.
A fatal 4-way, Taiji Ishimori versus Tiger Mask versus El Phantasmo versus David Starr.
Oh, that'll be good.
Then Umino versus Nagata. And Dan Duggan versus a wrestler that has yet to be announced.
Huh?
The same whoever faces Umino.
These cards are fire, dude. Walter, bro. Walter and Yuji Nagata, man.
Dude, I
cannot wait
excited for that match.
And then Ishii and Minoru Suzuki, they're just gonna kill each other. It's gonna be awesome. Dude, this guy Walter, Finesser of the year, bro.
Yeah, man. This man's about to get a NXT North American title shot.
Yeah, he's about to show up on an Evolve show against freaking
Adam Cole, baby.
This is nuts, man. Wrestling in 2018 is so weird.
Yeah, so next month is a really busy period. Got these 2 shows, G1 special in the USA. There's a CEO show in Daytona Beach that we're going to.
We got the Young Lions project coming up in just 2 days.
Yeah, and then also June 29th is the Ring of Honor Best in the World pay-per-view, which will feature Kushida, Sonata, Evil, and Bushi on that night and the next night for the TV tapings.
I guess we should probably watch that, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we have Honor Club, right?
We got the Honor Club. It sucks, but we got it. It's really trash, guys. Yeah. Not gonna lie, but we got it, so we'll watch it. Yeah. No, the pay-per-view should be. It's probably worth it just for the pay-per-views.
Yeah, the main event: Cody and Skrull challenging Dalton Castle, triple threat.
So, kind of continuing with the news. So, we got G1 Climax news. So, Jeremy already kind of mentioned when they're going to make the major announcements coming up. Earlier this week, Cody was actually asked by somebody on Twitter what was the percentage that we'd see him be a participant in the G1. He said 0% chance he will not be in the G1 Climax. He has outside projects that will be taking up his time 2 days a week from now until All In that are related to All In, as well as the other various things that he's doing for Ring of Honor. So he is not going to be in the G1 for sure.
I'm sure Rich Latta would like to hear that.
So for those of you that are kind of theorizing about your blocks right now and you can't wait, you can scratch Cody off the list. He is all out. Also, if you are interested in going to the G1 special in USA, their Access TV is doing a G1 special giveaway for 2 tickets on the floor seats. If you go to their website, you can enter into this giveaway until June 29th. There's still time. And if you get drawn, you get flown out there and you get 2 floor tickets. So, may the odds ever be in your favor. Also, earlier this week, Kota Ibushi was interviewed, or he was at some sort of live event. I saw this on Twitter, and he said that at minimum, the one requirement he has for himself at minimum this year is to be the winner of the G1 Climax. So I don't know if Ibushi's gonna be winning the G1 Climax, but there are those who are theorizing
that will set up Omega Ibushi at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yep. So seeds. They're throwing seeds over here, throwing seeds over there. They're just sowing seeds, baby. In other New Japan news, so a video came out earlier that, this week has been so dominated by Dominion. When I was going through the news, I forgot everything that happened. I was like, man, it's like you have life before Dominion and then life after Dominion. But New Japan released a video with an exclusive look into the LA dojo. Really, really well done. I think you watched that just the other day, Jeremy, right?
Yeah.
What was it that was happening with Shibata that made you feel like he was coming back in that video?
Well, there was one part where he was talking about like why he was the trainer, and he was just like, I figured while my injuries are healing, this is a way I can give to the business by training these guys. So the way he said that clearly makes you sound like he believes that he was going to be healed to the point where that he could wrestle again.
Healed. Yeah, that's going to be great. Also, so I heard someone say that this is official, but I haven't been able to find anything on the internet. Maybe you can kind of confirm. The Desperado and Dragon Lee mask versus mask match, is that happening or is it not happening?
I don't think it's official. I mean,
I heard people say it was, but I haven't seen anything confirmed.
I think people are just going off the Dragon Lee tweet.
Okay.
But I mean,
I haven't seen anything from New Japan.
I haven't seen anything from New Japan. I haven't seen anything in the Observer. A lot of my other multiple sources that I check and
your various sources.
My various sources, I haven't heard anything about this mask versus mask match being official.
So we'll keep you guys posted. Also, Desperado and Kanemaru, as you know, are going to be on the Strong Style Evolved UK tour, which they just got added to it. Also, the tickets for the meet and greet the meet and greet sessions that they're going to be doing the tickets for that are now on sale as well. So if you're in that area of the UK, you might want to get those. The free match of the week this week is Tatsumi Fat Fujinami taking on Super Strong Machine from April 18th, 1985. So if you want to, kind of catch up on Super Strong Machine and see what the buzz is about.
Yeah, before the retirement ceremony.
Free match of the week. Brush up on your history. It's good for you. Trust me. Also, New Japan Pro Wrestling alumni and one of the most infamous characters in that company's history, Naoya Ogawa, is going to be retiring in October, which he's associated with infamous moments like January 4th, 1999 in the Tokyo Dome, which, when we think of January 4th, 1999, we think of like the Finger Poke of Doom and we think of Mankind winning the world title. Well, over in Japan, there was other stuff happening, literally almost just as infamous. But Ogawa, he was Inoki's boy, former 1992 Olympian. I think he was a silver medalist in judo. I could be wrong, but he is going to be retiring in October, so that's pretty newsworthy, important historical figure. And then those of you who've been keeping track, I don't know if you've seen, but Bad Luck Fale is currently losing weight, and he's down 48.5 pounds.
Man, getting ready for G1.
He is getting ready for G1, and he looks great. Not only has he lost weight, but he's putting muscle on. So, yeah, it's like the best I've seen him in years.
He's probably on keto, too.
Probably. We got some all-in news. So just as Jeremy confirmed earlier on the show, Don Callis is all-in. He's going to be on the broadcast booth, which I'm assuming that means he'll be partnering with somebody.
Right.
But Don Callis being all-in leads you to believe it. We're getting this thing broadcast. No news has come out, but that's the only indicator. I mean, why have a broadcaster unless they're just going to release that on DVD?
PWG style.
The Golden Elite shirts that just came out this past week set a record for the most shirts that they've ever sold in a 24-hour period for pro wrestling tees. So congratulations on the Bucks and all the Elite on just making more money than you already had. That's awesome. And congratulations to the marks that bought those shirts. I bet you're going to buy one, aren't you?
Oh, of course I am. That and the V-Trigger shirt.
Also, very, very interesting. So, they had Cody's Golden Ticket promotion where Team Friend Zone took on MJF and Madison Rayne, and the winners become all in. Well, they announced earlier this week that MJF and Madison Rayne are all in, which means
Flip lost.
Flip is out according to their stipulations. If they're going to stick this stipulation, he is not part of All In. I'm assuming he'll find a way on the show.
Yeah,
I'm still holding out hope that he wins the NWA belt. I really don't want to see Nick Aldis versus Cody.
We'll see.
Maybe if Cody loses at the pay-per-view and then Aldis is like, I'm not going to defend the belt against you.
Yeah.
That's one way they could do it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Did you see Tamatonga's tweets this week?
Yeah, FTE.
FTE, and it does not mean forever the elite. And he also posted
I got your one sweet right here.
Yeah, I got your two sweet right here.
He said I got your one sweet.
Oh,
right.
one sweet?
Yeah.
And it's two bone hands giving the middle finger. So that sounds like there's some heat there. I mean, we've talked about it in the past, but I'm like wondering, that's the only thing that is compelling about Cody and Kenny to me right now is like the Cow Pal show going to be the end of the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
Maybe. On that note, let's talk about the latest episode of Being the Elite. The Elite. The Elite. Break it down. My Empire of Dirt. So did you catch this new episode?
Yes, I did. Marty Skrull has lost Flip Gordon.
Oh yeah, he lost. Yeah, it's Marty and Flip take Japan.
he got Flip drunk against the Young Bucks' orders, and
did they tell him not to get him drunk?
Yeah, they said that this is Flip's first time in Japan. He's never drank alcohol before. Don't let him drink alcohol.
I don't remember them saying that.
They texted him that.
Oh,
and he was reading the text, and he was like, He's like, Flip, you're so tense. He's like, you need to have a drink. Here, drink this. So yeah, like Flip was like, lap dancing and all these like girls in the restaurant, and apparently just having a wild night. And then
that's what it was like when we were in New Orleans. I was like, Flip, calm down, bro. No, I was like, hey Flip, hey sir, how are you?
Hey Mr. Flip.
Hey Mr. Flip. You gonna be all in?
You come on our podcast.
But anyway, so Flip's lost in Japan apparently. I think there was some updates with the murder case with Joey Ryan.
Yeah, they're accusing Stephen Amell, and Joey Ryan's hot wife was like, why would Stephen Amell do this? And
Joey Ryan's hot wife, that's hilarious. What I found very interesting was when Jericho showed up on the show.
Oh, yeah.
And they started talking about how, like, they idolize one another and it'd be awesome if they could team together.
Yeah.
And then they're like, but we could never do that on soil. And he's like, because we work for different companies. He's like, yeah, you work for the Bullet Club and we work for the Alpha Club. Which is kind of like a little wink and a nod to WWE and Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
And like, but we could never team on soil. So I'm like, oh, they're gonna do a team, like they're gonna team up together on the Jericho Cruise. Oh, you didn't get that?
No. Oh, that went over my head.
You guys, you should see Jeremy's face just now. He didn't get that crap. It literally, like, it just dawned on him. Like, we haven't talked about this, so this is a totally new thing. Bro, your face. You didn't get that that's what they're talking about?
No, I was like, why are they saying this? Like, dude, that...
Because they're not going to be on soil.
They're going to be on the cruise. Oh my God.
You idiot.
Wow.
Oh, man. But then he also was, like, talking about All In and, like, waiting for his invitation. And I was like, yeah, where is Jericho's? I don't think he's going to be part of it. But also, Cody talked earlier this week about how, like, they have their final cards, like, set. And he has infographics of other performers that they haven't even announced yet that will be All In and that they're going to be dropped later this week.
Nice.
So we got more performers coming, apparently, and more announcements. Aside from that, the big story of the show was
the Golden Elite T-shirts.
The Golden Elite
was in the box.
Well, yeah, you were almost right. You thought maybe it was new gear, but it was a T-shirt for their whole group together.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I'm glad to know it's in the box at this point.
Finally.
Jeez. The other thing too, I thought the most interesting part of the show was Cody.
He wrote the letter saying Kenny is the leader of the Bullet Club. He got a cleaner.
Is that what it said?
I'm pretty sure that's what it said.
He was just, to me, maybe I was only paying half attention, but he was reading the lyrics from Hurt by Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
And by 9 Inch Nails originally.
But yeah, the note said, Kenny, you are the true leader of the Bullet Club.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, and he had the cleaner weight belt and like a bottle of like champagne.
Yeah, because during the press conference, Kenny actually invited Cody to the after party to celebrate with them, which I was like, oh, it's like, so now they're like starting to tease maybe they're gonna squash this, but I don't think they're gonna squash it. I think maybe they will, but I don't know. They squashed it before. I think it's time to blow the crap up, blow it up.
Yeah.
So Cody got to the door. He had the note, he had the champagne, he had the belt, and then he couldn't do it. And he dropped the belt,
crumpled up the note,
and he walked away. And I bet you he downed that whole bottle of champagne by himself. And I thought that was the most interesting that happened was there anything else that really happened on the show?
Jay Lethal.
Jay.
Trying to figure out what's wrong with him.
Yeah, we saw Jay yesterday. I was too scared. I wanted to do the, hey G, how you doing? But I got scared.
Yeah, I wanted to tap him on the shoulder and be like, how you feeling, Jay?
Yeah.
I just went up to him, shook his hand, told him I was a big fan.
Yeah, I gave him a light handshake. And if you don't know what that means, you're just a mark.
Oh my god.
And then finally wrapping up, so we got news outside of New Japan. So there was an announcement made that the New Day, so it started off with a challenge from Xavier Woods to Kenny Omega for a matchup in Street Fighter V at E3, and then the challenge became the New Day taking on Kenny Omega and his choice of partners. And then after he won the title and reunited with the Bucks, we're now getting the Elite versus the New Day,
which is a feud that's been building for a long time now.
Yeah, they teased this for years, over a year ago. And what was interesting to me was WWE referenced this on their website and mentioned Kenny Omega as a New Japan Pro Wrestler and the IWGP champion.
Yeah, they mentioned the Young Bucks as the IWGP Tag Champions.
And in the past, they only mentioned him as independent wrestler Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
Independent wrestler Kenny Omega. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe that's like, what does that even mean?
It's just for Xavier Woods, up, down, down, game channel.
No, but I mean, what does it mean that, like,
that
they referenced...
that WWE's referencing it?
Yeah.
Dude, they go back and forth on that because for
a long time they were referencing
for Anderson and Gallows, they called them IWGP Tag Champs.
Yeah,
and like in NXT they showed like Nakamura's like IWGP stuff. So
yeah,
they go back and forth. It's how Vince is feeling in the morning.
Yeah. Also, they did a video showing with the Young Bucks sitting there with Fat Massa talking about the challenge that was laid out to them, and Matt was like, he's like, oh, you guys want a challenge? He's like, because we're pretty good at Street Fighter 2 Turbo Edition. And he's like, no, it's Street Fighter 5. He's like, it's the same game. It's not at all. So that's pretty funny. Let's talk about CM Punk. I don't think he's all in, man.
Oh my gosh.
So, he had the lawsuit this past week, which was super interesting.
He got the W there, but he did not get the W at UFC 225.
Or what I like to call the shoot style wrestling promotion, the UFC. And we went and saw, I went to Wing House. I caught the fight, him and Mike Jackson. I don't have to really get into it, but he did not win. And I'm guessing his MMA career is most likely over, or if it does continue, it will not
be on UFC. No.
Which probably should have never been in the first place. He should have been fighting in amateurs, if at all,
right,
to begin with. But with that, so it's interesting because there was a interview earlier this week, and he was like, well, no one's given me an offer. He was like, no one has come to me and said, here's the offer, here's who we want you to wrestle, here's the show, yada, yada. So it made it sound like he was open to the idea. And then the next day he was like, no, I've got so many messages. I want to reiterate, I'm done with wrestling. I'm not a wrestler. I will not be wrestling. I'm not going to be involved with wrestling in any capacity. And I'm like, all right, Jericho.
Yeah.
You think he's working?
I mean,
or you think he's going to be involved with All In some capacity? Because the rumor is
that he is confirmed for a segment at All In. So he's definitely going to be involved in the pro wrestling business somehow. But as far as a match, I don't know if he'll be wrestling at All In or if he'll ever wrestle ever again. But
yeah, I don't know. So that's...
I mean, he could easily get a big payday doing it. So it will not be embarrassed. So
yeah, I think he should come back. In other news, Shane Hurricane Helms is going to be making his debut for Ring of Honor, which I think is really, really awesome. He's going to be he's going to be on their state-of-the-art shows that they're running in Texas.
Yeah. So. And my buddy Cam Evans, he's seen Hurricane recently on some indie shows and says this guy can still go. So, it might seem kind of weird that Hurricane Helms, like, you might not think he can go, but he's always been like an underrated guy, and so that should be a nice little thing for the Ring of Honor shows.
So glad to see that Shane Helms will be there. Let's talk about Alex Shelley. So Alex Shelley is injured, and it was bad. So during a recent Ring of Honor taping, he collided heads with Frankie Kazarian, and he lost teeth, and he has a concussion, and he got hurt. He tweeted out, he said, long story short, my teeth got knocked out alongside a concussion that made me time travel, and it all goes to hell from here. Never been hit so hard in my life. I might add there are chunks of teeth stuck in my mouthpiece, which is fight grade. If I didn't have that, I would be getting emergency surgery right now. He said, like when things like this happen, freak occurrences, I can't help but wonder if I'm just being stubborn and not reading the signs. It's heart-rending and depressing, but it's also my current reality. So, not only, Alex Shelley's making it sound like
he's going to retire.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He said there's no therapy for concussion and missing teeth.
Yeah.
Basically. So, I don't know what that means, so we'll see. I hope he gets better. This is the risk that these guys take every time they put their bodies on the line.
Right.
Earlier this week, Seth Rollins tweeted out that he was hanging out with Juice Robinson and put the guy over huge.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Juice was showing him his late night cardio routines.
Yeah, I think Seth Rollins is known for some of the late night cardio as well.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting. But yeah, he tweeted out
they were burning the town down.
Burn it down. Just tweeted out that he's hanging out with him, one of the best talents in the world. That sort of thing. So it's really great. Y2J was actually just interviewed post Dominion. Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about his
post Dominion promo.
That excellent promo about taking the belt with him everywhere he goes,
buying a first class plane ticket so the belt can sit next to him.
Yeah, this guy's on a different, and he thinks he's a 10-time champion. He literally thinks he's the 10-time Intercontinental champion. It's hilarious. But he talked about, they asked him about what Vince McMahon thinks about him working with New Japan, and he was like, well, the first time there was a lot of support. When I told him I was going back, not as much support, but it was like I was allowed to do it. He's like, and I'm just waiting for one of these days when I get that phone call telling me I'm not allowed, and then that will be it. And he's like, so until that time, this is different for me, and this is really fun, and I'm going to keep doing it, as long as it works out. So apparently they know about it, but he said that he's still with WWE ultimately at the end of the day, and if they give him the call, he's done. Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
And then the last bit of news. So we talked about Impact and New Japan last week and all the stuff going on in the world of wrestling. Impact just did their press conference for Slammiversary, and they used New Japan footage for Taiji Ishimori. Which is just another like little small like
Dude,
indicator.
2018's wild.
I know you got WWE referencing the IWGP champion on their website. You got Impact using their footage during press conferences, and it's just leading me more and more to think that there's some sort of potential working relationship between these companies. Did you have anything else, Jeremy?
No, I think I'm ready to wrap it up, take us home. So before we go, also make sure you check out our friends at pureresuroad.com. Our podcast is featured on there along with the Loudmouth Wrestling podcast. Also on their front page right now, they have a great post, what to watch from the Best of Super Juniors 25 from @BookJunkieJana. So that's pureresuroad.com. Next week, we'll be back with Lionsgate Project 13 and Kizuna Road coverage. Also, Best of the Super Junior t-shirt contest winner. I'm still working on calculating who the winner is. I'm sorry about that with Dominion and UFC and all the craziness of this weekend. I did not get a chance to finish calculating totals of all the brackets that we had coming in. So it will be my goal to get that done this week. So next week we will announce the winner of the free t-shirt contest. So, do some prayers and hope it's you. Make sure you connect with us on social media. On Twitter, I am @Jeremy L. Donovan. The show is @KI Strong Style. You can follow Social Suplex @Social Suplex. Facebook.com/Social Suplex. Join our Facebook group, The Wrestling Squared Circle. Facebook.com/groups/Wrestling Squared Circle. On Reddit, Josh is Keeping It Strong Style. I am the Pro Black Guy. Make sure you check out all our other shows on the network. One Nation Radio and One Nation Live, hosted by Rich Latta. We have Ricky and Clive with the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show all the way from Scotland. They just had a great NXT special episode last week. Check that out. We got the Outsider's Edge with Rance and Carl. And we have our independent wrestling podcast, Grown Men Watch This Shit, hosted by Chris Things and Jeremy Tate, aka James Vanderbeek, and they just had Jonah Rock on their podcast.
Check that out. If you guys aren't familiar with Jonah Rock, he is Jonah Rock of Melbourne City Wrestling fame, and he's blowing up. He just made his debut, and he's already in the title picture over in PWG. He's one of those dudes where, like, you don't want to be the guy who doesn't know about him a year from now, because he's the next Keith Lee, he's the next Walter, he's the next Matt Riddle, he's the guy. I'm telling you right now, and it's really cool that they were able to get him on our podcast network.
Yeah.
And it's a great listen. If you haven't checked it out, check out Chris Thing's show. Like, I'm telling you, that show is awesome.
Yeah,
and I don't just put stuff over. Like, it's good.
It's good. And make sure you stay subscribed, because we are working on putting together some more interviews for the Social Suplex Podcast Network. In the archives, we already have interviews with guys like Troy Hollywood and the international superstars Joey Osborne and Blanco Loco. Working on bringing you some more exclusive interviews. So make sure you subscribe on the podcast app of your choice to the Social Suplex Podcast Network and leave us a rating and review. So until next time, goodbye and good night. Bang. Pew, pew.
Thank you for listening to Keepin' It Strong Style. We'll see you next time.